the snow, he wouldn't leave any footprints. You know, that's how good he was. He used to float. He was just ridiculous, Dennis, his touch. And if you watch his 100 goals for Arsenal, or over his career, Dennis Bergkamp's best goals, some of the goals are just out of this world.
I cannot be objective when I talk about Dennis Bergkamp, because for me, this is the guy that set the tone for me when I arrived at Arsenal. Because when I used to arrive at 8 in the dressing room, the guy is at 7:30. He arrived at 7:30, he arrived at 7:29.
Against Newcastle,
Brilliant goal!
he's the best. He's the best. For me, it was like a maestro.
He was the best player I ever played with by a million miles, and I did think professional.
People, welcome to the weekend roast. As you can see, I have an esteemed guest, and as you can see, it's a bit of a different format today. We'll go through the normal stuff that we do, but it's 30 years today that the legend that is Dennis Bergkamp signed for Arsenal. God himself signed for Arsenal. It's a day after Zubimendi, a very underwhelming signing, comes to the club and we're meant to get gassed. These young fans don't know what it's like to get gassed about a signing, man. They don't know what it's like to be sitting at home. What age was I? 14, and to open the paper and see the back page and turn to the back page and go, Dennis Bergkamp is signed for Arsenal, and to just be running around the house going ballistic. A player I'd seen in World Cups and a player I'd seen shred England at Wembley, a world-class player, and just go, oh my God, mum, you have to get me the New Jersey with 10 on the back. No, I can't afford that. You have to save up. Oh, please, I want it now. I need to get Bergkamp on the back. Proper player. Changed the whole club. Changed the whole club from top to bottom. And if he hadn't been there when Wenger came in, Wenger wouldn't have, not only because of Bergkamp on the pitch, won that double, he wouldn't have transitioned the team so quickly because Bergkamp had already been there 3 years. A lot of the players were starting to look at him and go, the way that chap's eating, the way that chap's exercising, I might get a bit of that. He's doing yoga. What's all this shit, man? I'll get onto that. So when Wenger came in and said, I want to get rid of ketchup, I want to get rid of this, or you're on having boiled chicken and rice, it was a lot easier for the other players to go, you know what? I was already thinking about doing that. Let me fucking go. Bergkamp did so much for this club. My favourite ever player in history of any player that played for any club. An absolute genius. That as he's so up, and I don't care. I'll get done for copyright for that video, but I don't care because it needs to be shown. It needs to be shown. But views, Dennis Bergkamp, man.
My bro. The Iceman himself. I was a little bit younger than you, obviously, when he signed, so it's still a bit of a haze for me. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like when we got even like when we got Henry that come in quietly, even like when we got Bobby Perez. I don't know, like on Bergkamp was just a bit of a blur, but every time I look back, and I was obviously there, I remember certain games, and it's just like, even like the Invincibles, like when I try and explain that, it's just a blur to try and think back on it. When you look back on stuff like that, it's like it tugs at the heartstrings. Do you know what I'm saying? When you see players of that ilk talk about a man like that, the superlatives, do you know what I'm saying? That you, bro, Dennis Bergkamp, like, and you're absolutely right. Obviously, like I said, I'm a little bit younger, so I ended up being on the Thierry Henry train quite heavy. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, like my favorite ever player to do it. But other than that, in terms of impact, in terms of just everything, the way that the whole Arsenal way, everything that he done just exuded class. Do you know what I'm saying? That was Dennis Bergkamp.
100%.
That was Dennis Bergkamp in a nutshell. You know, seeing some of the goals there, some of the touches. You know, everyone remembers the Zidanes, the this, the that, but no one put enough respect on Dennis's name. That's what I do know, looking back, because like I said, in the time I was young, I was very young, so it's a bit of a blur. Like, you know, the players coming in, I wasn't celebrating it as hard as some of the other celebrations when I was a bit older. But when you look back on it, it's like, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. I mean, the level from then until now is chalk and cheese. But yeah, I don't think enough people put respect on Dennis Bergkamp's name. Do you know what I mean? Just go back and watch what he was doing. It was just
unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable.
What the funny thing is about him? I was talking to Aaron about him, and we were talking about our favourite moments, and his wasn't even a Bergkamp goal. It was a Bergkamp assist. That's how good he was when he turned back and forth and flicked it through for Ljungberg. It was just different level. But when you hear ex-players talk about him, that's when you know. When you know, Neil Ruddock said, like, oh, they said, oh, what about Dennis Bergkamp? He says, never seen anything like him. And he said, the dirtiest player I ever played against. And they went, what? So, oh, Bergkamp was nasty, man. He said Bergkamp was nasty. He'd be grabbing you, he'd be pulling at you, kicking you in the back of the leg. And then he said, because he was the Iceman and this, he was so graceful that you go, ref. And the ref would go, there's no way Dennis is doing anything. He got a few red cards in his time, man. Filthy fucking tackles. He wasn't afraid. And that's what Adams and all said. That's when he won them over straight away, because when he came in, they train and all would pick this lad up in the air because he's this foreign lad. Let's see how tough he is. And they said he was just giving it right back, man. Giving it right back. Loving it.
Yeah.
But that guy, man, I remember it took him 7 games to score and everybody was on his back because we just expected him to be this goal scorer. It wasn't until we sort of started to Nelka broke in. And Ian Wright as well, because he set up Ian Wright, and then we started to take off that season and you could see bits and pieces. But then the first Wenger season, and even the first half season that he had him, you could see it then with Ian Wright making runs, and then later on in Elka. But that was my favourite part from him. One of my favourite moments is the final game of the Invincible season. It was 1-1, and he stops outside the box, about 10 yards outside the box of the ball, and he literally stops dead, and he's waiting. And Vieira's about 10 yards behind him, and you just see Vieira start to gallop, and he runs, and he waits, and just flicks it through at the last second. And Vieira
didn't even look. Yeah.
He didn't even look. He waits, and he knows someone's going to make a run, and then just that's why I call Vigilante the Bergkamp, because he's so in with getting the thing. But he times it. Vieira rounds the keeper, slots it in. But when you see that, the celebrations, Vieira runs off celebrating, and he runs straight for Bergkamp, and they all crowd around Bergkamp. They knew that the pass was better than the goal. They knew that the pass was better than the goal. But I just want to get into this here. I have a few quotes. I haven't even looked at them, but I just typed in Dennis Bergkamp quotes, and it came up 16 of the best quotes about Dennis Bergkamp, and I thought that's even better. So it'll be from ex-players and stuff. I saw one from Ian Wright at the top, I think. Let's see, 16 best quotes of Bergkamp. Ian Wright, he's the Messiah. We told him to get us into Europe when he joined. That's exactly what he did. Shay Given, we just stood there looking at each other amazed. He's probably the only player who could have pulled it off. That's from the goal, that goal against Newcastle.
Yeah.
Shay Given says they just stood there fucking looking at each other. Arsene Wenger, he has the intelligence of class. Class is, of course, most of the time linked to what you can do with the ball. But the intelligence makes you use that technique in an efficient way. Yeah, everything he did had purpose. Everything he did had purpose. Thierry Henry said, I've always said Dennis Bergkamp will remain the best partner I ever had. He is a dream for a striker. He played with Zidane, people, for the national team. He played with Zidane.
I'm telling you.
You know what I mean? That's it.
The
Sol
thing
Campbell
is,
said...
sorry, go on. No, I was just going to say,
go on.
He made number 10 cool, bruv. That's the only way. That's the only way I can wrap it all up, because everyone was, not to say that people didn't rate midfielders and stuff like that, but especially like when he came, like people would say strikers or Smith or whatever. He made number 10 cool, bruv. As a young man, number 10, strikers with all the hype, this, that, and the third. He made number 10 cool. Like as you said, when my favorite player ever talking about Dennis like that, then I said, oh, like he really was that good. He really was. And I don't think he had enough respect on his name. I'll just keep saying that.
I don't think so. When the sort of the 10 best players in the world are mentioned and stuff, I'm not saying he should definitely be in it, but he's never even mentioned. He's never even mentioned. You know what I mean? Which is crazy. Sol Campbell said the Iceman was a tremendous player. He was strong and quick, had a bit of a nasty streak about him. However, he was a gentleman. Literally everything you want. If Ryan Giggs is worth 20 million, Dennis Bergkamp is worth 100 million, Van Basten said. Paul Merson, is that? Oh, his quote's gone. And Paul Merson speaks. Oh, yeah, honestly, didn't think professional player could be that good. That's in the video that we showed. Bob Wilson said, kill the born Arsenal tag. Yeah, on his own. Bergkamp had played in the Cruyff team of 1974. Holland would have won the World Cup. There you go. I mean, that's Bob Wilson saying that, man. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. Gary Lineker said, one runs out of superlatives in describing him as a player. He has great vision, awareness, touch, finish, not to mention selfishness, which is a big aspect of his, which for a striker almost sounds like a contradiction. Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
Jaap Stam said he's been very important for Dutch football because he stands for the football, the way we want to play. You should be strong at the ball, score goals yourself, but also put someone else in a position to score goals and sometimes show nice things. That's again it. If someone's in a better position, he'll give it up. He won't, it's not like Jermaine Defoe who'll shoot every time, which is a plus sometimes, but it's also a weakness. Vieira said our technical leader, the one who would bring small magic that would help us win something. Schmeichel said play football like it was all a dream. You couldn't even imagine some of the things he was capable of doing with a football. I mean, these are legends talking about him, views. These are absolute legends talking about him.
That's what
they're talking about him in glowing terms, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and big up the assembled. He said number 10s, you know, like Maradona, Pele, Platini, etc. Yeah, like Dennis, for me, he's up there. He's up there with them. He's never mentioned, but of course, and when, like I said, when your favorite players are talking about him like that, like he is, like,
Yeah.
like, you know, Bergkamp of Nazareth, when they're, you know, what you, because that's honestly, when you look back on it, it's kind of like what he was. Honestly, there weren't enough respect put on his name, and that is just the best example of how good he was. Is, like I said, when your favorite players are given, you know, a star ratings, you know what I mean, A-star marks on the test for Dennis Bergkamp. That should tell you all that you need to know. And like I said, for me, as a young man, you know, he made number 10 cool, man. He really did. He really did. What a player we had, man. What a player.
Absolute facts. Simon Cooper says the Bergkamp of the late 90s, his mature phase, was a footballer of moments. He would sometimes play a terrible match, but do one thing that no footballer had ever done before. It was as if he could see another dimension. That's just amazing. Adrian, exaggerating. First team training sessions were often a daily convention of the Bergkamp Appreciation Society. Just his own players clapping him. And Nick Hornby, of course, the author of Fever Pitch, said, does Bergkamp have 3 feet? I think that's a good enough way to finish it. But I mean, I could go on about him all day. I mean, I adore players like that. Number 10 he made number 10, like you said, he made it my favorite position. He made it my favorite position where I started to then look back through history at Maradona's and Cruyff and players like that just dropped off the front man. I thought, this is brilliant. When I started playing football, then, you know, because I was 14, so I was already playing, but I used to play in goals. I wanted to play outfield. I wanted to drop off and play a ball through to people all the time just because of Bergkamp. You know what I mean? And that's the difference.
Yeah.
Acer's big up. Acer says his football IQ was outstanding. It was ridiculous, man. It was absolutely ridiculous. Big up Rashid, the absolute legend in the house, man. Absolute legend in the house. Rashid's getting bigged up all the way down. The Assembled's in the house. Big up the Assembled. Absolute legend. Mr. Waffle said, big up Shane Views and chat. Come on, Mr. Waffle. You know it, man. And Mr. Rattle said, one of my favourite players growing up. And I'm a Liverpool fan. Power, grace, vision, class, superb player. That's another thing, Views, is that you do find that other fans of other teams go, I love them. You know what I mean? And you don't, it's so hard to say that sometimes. It's so hard. It's okay. It's easy enough to say it about Letizia or something who played for a team that wasn't a threat. But it's hard to, when you look back at the United team, I couldn't admit Beckham was a great player till he went to Madrid. You know what I mean? I wasn't able to say it. I was finding fault. I can't beat a player. He can't do this. He can't do that. Watched him for about 3 games at Madrid and went, oh, this guy's a fucking player. You know what I mean? So for other fans to go, oh, he was great. You know what I mean? That means you've gone up to it to sort of the pinnacle of being a good player and being a likable player as well.
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely, man. Absolutely. But like even nowadays, as much as Salah's killing it, you know what I mean? All them goals for Liverpool, you don't want to say, oh, look at Salah, but you have to, because at the end of the day, the quality's there and everyone, you know, there's no denying it. And but when you get such kind of open-ended from the rivals as well, that's when you know it hits different. We had the same with Thierry, but of course, you know, Dennis Bergkamp, you know, ran so Thierry can fly. You know what I mean? And yeah, just had that aura, bro. Just that aura, just next level. Big up the Assembled. Number 10. Yep. Big up Kingdom of Boxing. Hope you're good as well, my bro. Hope everything is good with you. Big up Static.
Oh, Static in the house. Big up Static, legend.
Big up Static, man.
Basil says, your biggest fan here, Shane. When are you doing a meet and greet for the fans, bro? This is someone taking a piss. I don't even think I've seen you in my chat before, Basil. If I have, I apologize. And I think I'm a long way away from doing anything like that.
Great settings.
If you look at 2 people there, man. Big up to AJ. And Lee Smith saying after Shane, after news chat. DB10, the goal of the Premier League, no debate. Yeah, no debate. Don't forget the goal, the month of he took all but he took all 3. I remember that he took all 3, first, second, and third place. What a fucking guy! But have
you ever seen anything like that?
No, that's. But there was a thing on Wenger. I was looking for sort of quotes on him, so that Wenger was talking about him saying that, will you get a player like that again? Because players aren't allowed express themselves the way they used to. You know what I mean? Yes, Yamal can do stuff and Pedri can do stuff, but they're still sort of, even in that free-flowing team, they're still restricted. Bergkamp I don't think there would have ever been a time when Wenger would have gotten him in at half time and said, you need to stop doing this and stop doing that. I'd say he would have said, you know better than me. You're Dennis Bergkamp. Like, you know what I mean? So go do what you need to do.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. Yeah. Like, it was like the thing I always refer to Bobby Robson when he brought R9 with him when he went to Barcelona, 19, 20-year-old Ronaldo. He said Ronaldo was making all these crazy runs and he was losing his mind on the sideline, bollocking him. And then it just clicked with him one day. He said, why am I telling him how to make runs? He's the best forward I've ever seen. He should be telling me how runs. You know what I mean? But that's where Arteta falls on his face. He's always taking the best out of players and saying, don't do that. I know better. And you're going, well, Saka grew up skinning lads for fun with the ball. You know what I mean? Let him do it. Let him use his strengths. He's doing it with Ethan. Like, you need to let these players flow. That's what Slot does. Slot lets them play their football, man. I'm sure he bollocks them if they're acting the piss or taking the piss, but big up to you, Skills. Absolute legend in the house, man. Absolute legend. And there is Views of channel, of course. And Wahaha's in the chat. One of the regulars, man. On both channels. You got to love a bit of Wahaha. Liam Smith says, one of those players who had the freedom of the park. Yeah. That's exactly it. One of those players that seemed to have a bit longer on the ball when he took a touch. Players who didn't know whether to close in on him because he'd leave you for dust. Or if you step off him, you'll find a pass. And a defender's nightmare. A defender's nightmare. In a different way, like Rio Ferdinand said Ian Wright was a nightmare, but just because he'd be constantly kicking you in your ear, he'd be constantly saying shit in your ear when you don't have the ball, and he'd make one run the other way, and you'd be, this little fucker. But like with Bergkamp, he'd drop deep. Do you go with him? Do you let the midfielder take him?
Yeah.
If Bodie is go, he could leave the two of you and the whole team's open up. But what a fucking player, man. What a fucking player. Gallas getting the number 10 shouldn't have happened. I don't know why Gallas did it. I don't know what he was thinking, if I'm being honest with you. You've already set yourself up badly with the fans. Yeah. That was at the start of our taking Chelsea rejects, wasn't it? Madwakey or Garnacho tops already. No, neither. But we will get one of them. What do you think, Views? Do you think we're going to end up with one of these messes?
All I can do is hope not. I mean, all I could do is hope that there's someone at the club that's got a little bit of sense, but all the evidence would lead towards we probably will end up with someone. We'll definitely end up with a Chelsea reject. Like I say it on my channel all the time, maybe there's compromising pictures, because whenever there's an opportunity to help Chelsea, here we are, good Samaritans. Do you know what I'm saying? What do you need? Take our money. You know what I'm saying? Every single time, bro. Every single time. Whether you want to look at the Sancho thing, like we're paying for him to go back to United, I mean, that's just how I'm looking at it. If we buy Kepa, that is. Do you know what I mean?
The Kepa thing gets to me, Views. It really gets to me.
No sense, Shane. No sense whatsoever.
It's the way these guys rationalise it. It's the way these guys, these top gooners rationalise it as a good thing. We had fucking Zippy Semiu, right? Norsky sent me a video today and I skimmed through it, but I can't put it up because it's Talk Sport, right? Talk Sport talking, right? But he's been bigging up Sesko the whole time, right? Because that's who we thought we'd sign. So he's trying to preempt us signing Sesko, and he can say, I told you that he's good, and then he's on Arteta's side, right? But now the rumours that the pendulum's swinging back to Gyökeres is saying that he wants to come to Arsenal and all this normal shit that you get, right? So he's stuck now, having said Sesko. So if Gyökeres comes, he's bollocks, right? Because he can't go into a press conference after him saying that. But he was on the Talk Sport. You could see him because one of the top sort of agents or something was being interviewed just before him, and he said, it's apparently the Gyökeres deal is back on. And most Arsenal fans won't be happy with this, right? If you get that out of your face, man. But the one that really got to me was he had a. I put it on today, right? And it really got to me, and I left a comment for him and stuff like that. But he's talking about. Joe, I'll pull it up because it really got to me. I can show his screen because he's a reporter or whatever. But it's basically right. What bothered me most about it is that he's giving out because Sesko apparently wants a minimum fee release clause, right, to come to us. So he was acting all shocked, right? That how could he do this to us? We're not a stepping stone club, and we're this and we're that. But my thing is, right, because of him and Pincus and AFTV and all these people that not just tolerate mediocrity but promote it, that we should be happy where we are and we should be doing this and that. They've made us a stepping stone club, so they don't have a right to get mad when a player says it. They don't have a fucking right to get mad. Well, I'll click into it here because you want to see him. He stops and stares at the screen. Oh, we're not a stepping stone club. But I swear to God, you've done this to us, mate. You have done this to us. Let me just get it here. I'll just pause it. Oh, wrong one.
Big ups. There's a few people in the building. AFC.
Legend.
Rich money makers.
There we go. Oh, that's not working.
I say his jaws like, you know, like when you open the register and it goes ding.
Well, that's what I said because that's why I call him Zippy, man. But I also said that he could swallow a VHS tape and it wouldn't hit the soil. Like Bender and fucking Futurama or something. And big up the skills as well, man. Wait to get a load of this. It's so hypocritical.
Wants a release clause in his contract if he signs for Arsenal. Now, I'm wary of overreacting to this because I don't know if it's true.
He does this a load of times, by the way, views. He says, like, I don't know if it's true, but, and then talks about it like he has all the knowledge on it, which is what all journalists do. But this is a guy, and I think it was Mr. Waffle, and correct me if I'm wrong, but nearly sure it was Mr. Waffle, was in his chat today, pressing him on the Timber injury thing, right? Have you read that? I haven't read it. Right, but you go on about rumors, but he hasn't read this big story about Timber saying that he's been injured because of the manager, and he couldn't
like fuck.
And then he apparently he did say, well, he had no other option. You just
did we not preempt that these guys would start enabling again? They would start enabling again, won't they? You know, whatever player we said it, and I even said it on my stream today, and I was talking about the full Irish. So make sure you go watch that on playback, like and subscribe, you bunch of pagans. But I was pointing to your show, and I'm saying you were showing Jacko on there trying to talk up some who guy that's meant to be replacing.
Who he didn't even know about him beforehand.
Oh my!
Didn't even know about him beforehand.
Exactly, because the enablers will start enabling. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And exactly. And here we go, bro. We preempted this, guys. But here we go. Sorry to interrupt you. Let's go.
No. Because I'm like, if he's a impartial journalist, like he says, and an Arsenal fan, he has to address this interview with Timber. He has to address it, but he won't because it's a bombshell. It completely defaces his manager. It completely defaces him, and he won't do it. But with this, he can say, "Oh yeah." Well, wait, you see now. He says, "We're not a stepping stone," but he stares at the screen all to try and act all intense, like, "How dare you talk about my Arsenal like that?"
And I'm wary of overreacting because it could be a complete and utter load of nonsense. Okay, but Arsenal, Benjamin, are not a stepping stone.
See,
Arsenal are not a stepping stone club. But Arsenal, Benjamin, are not a stepping stone.
You've done a Raheem
Arsenal
Sterling.
are not a stepping stone.
Want to see the best
fucking Zippy, man. I'm
about
tired of this
in the club.
We're about to see the best of Zippy, like right.
You want to come to Arsenal and be the main man? Arsenal, it seems like, would be willing to pay a hell of a lot of money to get you in through the.
Yeah, because you've already he's nothing again. But he's already got out and sort of talked down Gyökeres because he's waiting on this sign, and now he's shitting it that it won't go through.
Whether they'd pay the amount of money that RB Leipzig are asking for at this time remains to be seen. But either way, to get you in, to bring you to Arsenal Football Club, it's going to take a really big investment from the Gunners. Now, if you want a release clause in your contract, no problem. Stick a release clause of 150 million on him. But somehow, I don't think he's going to agree to that. If indeed this report is true. It's being suggested that he wants a release clause that is 20% higher than the price point that Arsenal would have to meet to get him in which case, that is ridiculous. We're not a stepping stone football club. We were a few years ago. No. If Benjamin Sesko sees Arsenal as a stepping stone, and Benjamin Sesko is adamant that he wants a release clause.
We was a stepping stone. We was a stepping stone when Arteta of Nazareth brought us back from the dead. You know what I mean? When he came back, you know, in Easter time, when he came back from the dead, he also brought Arsenal Football Club with him. You know, this guy is an absolute clown. I swear to God. Oh,
but this is my point: is that he's made us a stepping stone club. These guys have made us that because they've lowered our standards so much. So they can't keep saying that 5 years of no trophies is fine, and then expect players to see us as a big club. Why would they? Why would they? Big up the Basil Shane. Whereabouts in Ireland are you from, mate? I'm from Wicklow originally, man. I don't live there anymore, though. From Wicklow originally, buddy. Good, the green grass of Wicklow, my man. Where were we in the chat? I'll just go back to here. But sorry if I missed your chat, people. It's just there's a load coming in. Big up to everybody in the building as well. The 71. Make sure you're smashing the likes. Make sure you're subscribing the views and myself if you haven't already. The absolute legends. Rich Moneymaker says, big up legends. Everyone hit the likes and subscribe. It's free and takes seconds. As a Chelsea fan, I'm pissed off with my coach being stubborn. Chelsea standards, not Arsenal standards. Yeah, well, look, dude, I can't really disagree with you. But big up Dio's in the house. I don't understand why some fans are so up in arms that Sesko wants a minimum fee release clause. This is the thing. They're the same fans that have lowered the standard of the club, Dio. They're the same fans that lower the standard of the club and then get upset when teams don't see us as a big club. If they are saying that just challenging is fine, and we didn't challenge this season, by the way, but going out in semis is an achievement. Why would a player think that we're a big club if going out in the semi-final is an achievement? You know what I mean? It's not an achievement. You may as well have gone out earlier and concentrated on another tournament. It's craziness, man. Hendo says, I was working in Zurich at the time. A mate of mine was working with Reuters. Okay, he phoned me to tell me this. I spent most, sorry, that might be something that you were in the middle of, and I do apologise.
Oh, no, I think he was talking about Bergkamp.
Okay. Oh, the day that Bergkamp was coming. I get you, sorry. I thought it sounded like you were talking to someone else. Oh, it called me. Yeah, but see, that was the thing. The news was a bit more, you didn't see it coming. There wasn't all, Sky Sports News hanging around the airport and stuff like that. There wasn't all of that. And big up the Skills as well, man. Absolute legend in the house. Throwing in the cash. Come on, Skills. It's going towards a microphone, man. It's going towards a microphone. Madueke should be better than Trossard and Martinelli, to be fair. Yeah, although Madueke is left-footed and there are far better players. He's just another scrub, though. You know what I mean? He's just another project for this manager, man. He's just another project. Man.
Surely you can't be happy with that, man. I know Sesko can't do anything wrong in your eyes, because obviously you're saying why. I mean, I don't directly see a problem with it, but I see a lot of problems with the deal in general. He's bang average. You know what I mean? He ain't the more calculated risk. He ain't worth 85.5 million euros in any universe of this multiverse Marvel Phase 6. Definitely not. But surely you must draw the line somewhere, bro. Like Madueke, we were just getting told bloody Rodrigo not long ago. Then it went from Sane, and now it's bloody Madueke. And why would Chelsea want to sell him? That's another thing you got to understand. It's not Cole Palmer, is it? It's not Lavia or Caicedo. Do you know what I'm saying? And then, how much would we pay for him? How much does the chat rate him? How much is he worth? And how much do you think that Chelsea will sell him for? Because they're better at selling than we are.
You know what it is, Buse? It's why are we always signing backups or replacements? Why are we signing players that come in and say you might lose your place now? Because BBK, a big up Taran, absolute legend of a man. I love listening to him talk about football. But he was on the Bruised Banana and he said, did you notice one thing? I said, what? He said, do you hear Liverpool fans saying, oh, what's going to happen to Szoboszlai now that we signed Wirtz? What's going to happen to McAllister? They don't say that. They just go, we got Wirtz, great, put him in the team. If the others want to knock him off his perch, let them improve their game. We're the only ones that say, oh, well, go for Mbeumo. But what about Saka? What about Saka? Maybe he needs a bit of a challenge. We're the only club that do this. You know what I mean? We're the only club that do it. And
don't hear City or United saying that. What about Garnacho? If we get Cunha, what about Johnson? They're not saying that. And look, Dio
we're
again.
The only club that do
it. The dream of signing Rodrigo. The dream of Rodrigo, and he's laughing. But this is my point, bro. This is my point. Yeah, are we slaves? Are we just like, why should we just accept things all the time? Oh, that's how Arsenal's always done it. So that's just a reason to continue down that path. Or is that not a reason to pivot and do something different? It's the dream. It's the dream of Rodrigo, the dream of Mbappe, the dream. Why do we need to dream of those players? Like I keep saying to you and everyone else, if that's a dream for us, then shouldn't that reflect in our price? Shouldn't that reflect in how much merch gets doled out every fucking month? Do you understand what I'm saying? Shouldn't that reflect in the season ticket price? The accessibility of the club? Shouldn't that reflect? Shouldn't we get a lot less PR? A lot less of this dangling of the prom queen, like you like to say? Yeah? All this, but that's not how we do it. That's not the Arsenal way. Well, we need to scrap that way because it ain't working. It's not working.
But this is a team that these top gooners mud. Say Chelsea are shit. They only won the Conference League. So we're taking players that can't get in their team. Kepa, Madueke, Jorginho, all these lads. And then they big them up. Then they big them up.
Rationalizing Shane. Then they start rationalizing Shane. And
it's like a coping mechanism.
Yeah,
it is like a beaten. It's like a beaten partner. I'm not just going to say wife, because sometimes women slap the lad around. It's like a beaten partner that keeps trying to find. Oh, you don't really understand them. They love me really. You know what I mean? I just get them angry.
Yeah, he's all right if he don't drink. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. It's the drink. It's the drink that does it to him.
Then you want to start rationalizing why these players are good.
You just run with that there for a second.
Yeah, no worries. You know, start rationalizing why these players are good. Yes, Madueke is probably better than Martinelli. Yes, he probably might be more effective than Trossard in that position. But does that mean that he's the ceiling? No, it don't. As Shane said, we're so quick to put down Chelsea's players, and then the moment they're linked with us, everyone starts to rationalize it. Big up Quadra in the chat as well. I see you, bro. Big up. Do you know what I mean? Yes, he might be better than these players, but that's the problem in the first place. We're stuck with mediocrity. This is what I was saying on my channel earlier. We're stuck with mediocrity, and then we're taking other people's rejects. They want to get rid of them. So why are we always taking the rejects? It don't make sense. Yes, Mateta probably is better than Havertz up front, but does that mean he's the ceiling? We should be going a lot higher than that. That is the point. And if we're not going to go higher than that because we can't afford it and it's not our way, then we need to fucking slash the prices, cut all the merch, tell us that we're basically a spicy QPR. Tell us that, fine. And then we can decide how to support the club. Don't keep giving us psyops, all these attacks, telling us about, oh, goosebumps. It ain't goosebumps, bruv. You've got hives. That's what you've got. It ain't goosebumps. Maybe you've got an infection. Maybe you need to go to the doctor's, big man. It's hay fever season. Yeah? About goosebumps. Why are you talking about all that kind of stuff? Because here we are, 21 days into June, and in comes a mini fridge. It's hot. I hear it. We need a fridge, but we also need to... Bro, come on, man. Like, all I'm saying is
I just love that you call him a mini fridge. I just think it's a great analogy.
Because it's so short, innit? We've got the normal fridges already, you know, and at the end of the day, I want you lot to think about this, right? So we're going to let our best midfielder last season and our emergency right back, leave on a free. All you dickheads laughing at Liverpool, hold that, about Trent. At least they got 10 million or something for him. What did we get? Nothing. And if we let him go and Jorginho goes and all we've got is Zubimendi, then we are worse off. How do you think that midfield's going to cope? We're going to have Moreno dropping back in. Kai Havertz.
What about if Royce breaks down? What about if Royce breaks down? But that is incoming, by the way. That is incoming. His back's at him. He had a broken toe. Listen, but we're negative. But Gunnar C, absolute legend in the house. So as Jez said yesterday, Kepa was a good backup. Yeah, no, Jez, me and Jez disagree on that. Because Jez is of the belief that you should have a competition for every position. I agree with that. And it's very hard to get it right. Liverpool got it right, as in the young lad coming up was good enough to start challenging Alisson. It's very hard to get it right, but I'm not in for signing someone, because you look what happened last time when we got Raya, and then Arteta came out and said, "Oh, I have 2 number ones," and the pressure was just immense. And the thing is, my thing with Kepa is that is he any better than Setford? I don't think he is, because I know for a fact Kepa's not just average; he's really, really shit. So just don't sign another keeper. If you're going to sign a keeper that's shit as backup, I don't get it. If we were to sign, I don't know, a 35-year like a Szczesny who's just had a great season with Barcelona, you get him in and you go, okay, he is good enough to push him for a year, but he won't push him. You know what I mean? He's good enough to come in. I just don't understand signing it. There's no point spending money. And apparently he's only on $5,000 less than fucking David Raya. He's on $100,000 apparently. I mean, that's what gets to me, man. You know what I mean?
It makes no sense. And the thing is, he don't trust these people anyway. How many games did Neto play last year? 1. We had another little kid. I don't even know his name. He played like the 16 or 17-year-old. He played.
Yeah. But Setford seems okay. You know what I mean? Your man Runnerson, and there's a few of them are Hine. Right. These lads that are out there. They just have an average keeper and backup. And if your keeper gets injured before Christmas, Grant, sign someone. I know it's risky, but I just with the state our club is in with needing signings and stuff.
I say it all the time. I say it all the time, especially with Berta coming in. I don't expect miracles. I don't expect Berta of Nazareth to come in. I don't even know why I'm saying Berta is Bert. Yeah, I'm not expecting Berta of Nazareth to come in,
I
right?
love that as well.
And click his fingers, and we've got 10 new players, because really and truly, that's what we need if we want to have quality and depth, right? We need about 10. I don't expect that, but what I do expect is competence from day one. You come in from March. Yeah, re-signing of players, that shit should have been done. If it's true that we've offered Lokonga an extra year, what are you thinking? If it's true that Trossard's going to get more money but no extra time, what are you thinking? We need to box smart. So if there's only a finite amount of money, right? If there's only a certain amount of money that we've got to spend, then you've taken a risk last year. The whole year was a risk. We made money last summer and you done fuck all in January, and our players were dropping like flies. Yeah, you took a risk all year. So this year, take a risk in the goalkeeper department. We've got Setford, we've got Hine, we've got enough, yeah, because they're not going to play anyway. So take a risk, just like you took a risk with the whole squad last season. That's where you should be taking a risk. And if you are going to pay money, why are you then going to help another rival? Yeah. Why are you going to help another rival? And to be honest, even 5 million, we could probably go and get fucking someone cheaper than that. 3 million, 2 million, a free. Do you know what I'm saying?
Get a free. That's the thing. And Aaron's always said it, and I was always a big fan of it. Either have a youth team keeper that is going to be good someday as the backup, or like that guy that's a year away from retiring, Kasper Schmeichel, Szczesny, someone like that has all the experience in the world. They're going to come in, and if you need them, they'll come in and do a job. They'll be fine. But he just has to sign. He is like a kid that just. My kids say, "Oh, my young one's 12. Oh, I want to save. She's okay with it, actually. The young lad's 14. I want to save up for this or that. And then later that night, will you bring me down to the shop? So I've got a tenner. I want to spend it. I thought you were saving. But that's what he's like. I have to spend it. I have money. I have to spend it. But look, this is great here from Adrian. A big up Adrian. Legend says, instead of singing in North London forever, it should be the Rainbow Team tune. It should be for Zippy, man.
Oh, hey, look, I've got another idea. Look, stop whatever you're doing, everybody. Look, because we're going for a walk in the park. Oh, hey.
What is the feed? I don't know what is the feed.
Press pass merchants, exactly. Press pass merchants. That's what they are. Let me just skim down through this real quick because there's a lot of people. Big up Lawrence. The third place Lawrence is in the house. Absolute legend, man. He's saying, guys, I just watched Troops Meltdown on Pod's channel. But you need to get him on your streams. Yeah, listen. You know what I mean? There's always space. The Troops is all right, man.
It's easier said than done, man. That's you know.
Yeah. Big up Lion Tex, absolute legend. He went past 300 as well. It should have taken. It shouldn't have taken that long, by the way. As View says, you pagans. It shouldn't have taken that long. He's one of the realest ones out there, man. My missus loves his streams, actually.
There you go.
I need to watch out for that, man. I think she might have an old Lion Tex fetish on her, man. I'm telling you. These top goons are clowns. They always go with the narrative. Harry's talking shit. Yep, he's just defending himself. He's covering his tracks. Covering his tracks, just like Igal. That video of him talking about that new midfielder, like I can't even remember the man's name because I don't know anything about him. So I'm not going to claim to know anything about him.
So why would you come out? Oh, he's supposed to be a good. And you were saying it on your show, reading from a teleprompter, bro. He's supposed to be a good player. The numbers say he's a good player. Anyone would think they open their eyes and they just see green zeros and nines like the Matrix. That's the only thing they see. Because that's how they watch football, bro. That's how they watch football. And I was just saying, I think even on your stream, Zippy was even saying something about, why don't we pivot for Gyökeres? But weren't you down talking Gyökeres, bro?
Yeah, he was down talking him. And then he did a recent one now where he's, most of the fans wouldn't want them. Who are you to say most of the fans, mate? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Trying to cover for himself. Curiosity killed the cat. I'm not sure what that's to do. And I hate the way he acts like he knows everything. Yeah, he's Zippy. They all do, though. If you notice that, people will say to me, "How can you say that Gyökeres wouldn't want to come to us?" And I said, if you just rewind it a little bit, I said, "In my eyes," or I think that Gyökeres wouldn't. These guys talk about it like they have insider information. Oh, I've read scouting reports. That's what he said. That's what Zippy said about this new midfielder. He did the same thing that Igal did. Oh, I haven't seen him play, but I did scouting reports. And then he goes on to talk about it like he has full knowledge on the foot. If Arteta loves Chelsea sloppy second so much, then let's change from red and white and go all blue kit and play in blues the colour instead of North London forever. Yeah, move to Stamford Bridge. You may as well. If we get Kepa and Madueke. I think out of City and Chelsea rejects under Arteta's reign, that'll be 8 and 9. And none of them have worked out. Not one of them has worked out.
None of them.
And he keeps doing it. Because I was on Jez and he says, why does he keep doing this? And I left a comment saying, it's a narcissism thing where he's going, okay, everybody's sort of saying I'm wrong about this, so I will keep doing it to prove a point. Because why else would he keep doing it? It makes no sense to me that he keeps doing it.
I think there's compromising pictures. Like Clear Lake or Bowley, whoever's running Chelsea, they've got compromising pictures of KSE something, because I don't know any other reason why we have to keep helping them, bro. Do you know what I mean? We're just like the rubbish men. Yeah. I don't know what they call it where you are. You know, we had a Veolia over here. They're the guys who come around in the truck, you know, go and take your bins, wheel it to the ting. Every time there's rubbish to be cleared, we're the guys that they give a call. So, and I don't understand the reasons behind it logically. If anyone in the chat knows, please enlighten me. Other than that, it has to be compromising pictures, bro. Has to be.
Yeah. Well, that's what I always say. It's like the early rounds of X Factor. Do you know when you get all those fucking? It's like the old Victorian freak shows, and they wheel out these people that have no idea how bad they are, and they end up making a fool of themselves. I always picture Todd Bowley when his phone rings and he sees, like, you know, Edu or whoever come up on the screen. He's like, yeah, great. What rejects do we have? Get them out here. I'll hawk them off to this guy, you know? Yeah, we got the, what do you need, a keeper? Yeah, we'll give you Kepa. We'll give you Kepa. You want him?
Yeah, especially the early stages, because they're the ones that you get all the stories for, you know, the background stories. Yeah, so I've got 3 kids and I used to work.
The sob story. Yeah. That's why you have Havertz. Oh, I was a donkey and I was forced to lift loads of things, and then I got found by Chelsea. Yeah, we'll take you. You want Havertz? I'll give you Havertz. $65 million. Come on. Boy, Dio says, I wouldn't mind coming across a fan who had only known Arsenal since 2020, to be honest, would mean we're grabbing new fans. Instead, everyone is some old head talking about Anelka or older. Yeah, well, this is the thing, mate, because most of the fans that are Arteta in think that the club only started in 2019, so you're all right, man. I don't want Madueke, but I'm not kicking up a fuss about Madueke because some of our options are complete gash. Yeah, but they shouldn't be. Our options shouldn't be gash. Our options are gash because the majority of Arsenal fans accept mediocrity. So our club has become known as a mediocre club. So nobody wants to come to us. That's the thing. And when we do get them, we quadruple their wages. 7.5 times their wages in Zinchenko's case. Zinchenko's paid the same as Villa's highest paid player because we quadruple. Yeah,
I was going to say, let me caveat that with as well, and because they know that it's going to fly over here. Where's the fuss? Big up Wahaha. Where's the fuss? Raheem Sterling, players like that. Willian. Yeah, like the list goes on.
It's just accept it, though, isn't it? That's the attitude. They say just accept it. What's the point in giving out about it?
Exactly. The apologists, the enablers. Now all of a sudden we're rationalizing. Like I keep saying, when you take one for the team, you wake up the next day, you were drunk. Now you're looking at it, you're trying to justify what's going on. You're rationalizing it. You know you fucked up. You know what I mean? And now you got to try and rationalize it. And because our fans do that all the time, that's why they keep hitting us with these, man. Because no one's kicking off.
Yeah, that's the problem. And you see, and I always say it, if you start to find positives in everything when there's no positives, you've gone over to being delusional. You're delusional now. And that's the problem. When these people keep saying, just accept it, this is how it is, you know, you're being a glory hunter, all this stuff. That's what I said. That's why I left that comment on Semi-Use. I left that comment saying, you know, it's because of people like you. You don't get to be mad now if someone wants a minimum fee release clause. And the thing is, Barcelona, Madrid, all these teams, every player they sign, they put a minimum fee release clause. They always do. They always do. I remember when they were signing these players and all the minimum fee release clauses were crazy. They have one in Trent's. It's £1 billion or something like that. But just put it. I know that he won't take that.
Yeah, 500 million.
Yeah, exactly. So even if you're just going to get your money back, just put it in, or just don't sign him. You know what I mean? Or just accept that that it's because of our shit manager these players don't want to play. Zubimendi's on 49 grand a week, right? I would say that we will minimum quadruple his wages. I would say we will minimum. He will go on to 200 grand a week.
Yeah.
And then Gal was on a short today saying, "Hold that, Madrid." He wanted to come to us over you. Moneypenny had how we out-muscled all of Europe to sign Zubimendi. If Madrid had put down the same bid as us, If Madrid had put down the same bid as us, he would have said, "See you later. I'm going to Madrid." There's
on,
no
on.
way he
There
would have
was
chosen
no
us over Madrid.
interest.
No way.
I don't believe there was anything concrete from Madrid whatsoever. And this is why I say to Arsenal fans, hold that about the whole Trent thing, especially if Partey actually leaves us for a free. Because why are we getting involved? It's nothing to do with us. But you want to know something? I'm going to do a fucking tweet and start embarrassing the whole of our fan base, like, because I've got fucking mashed potato between my ears. Do you know what I'm saying? Worry about where Bubbles is, bruv. Stop worrying about what's going on at Liverpool because our club ain't got its big boy pants on. Stop embarrassing her. You know, like when you're about to get told off in front of the school by your parent, and your parents coming up, you're trying to get out the back. You're trying to get out the back. I'm going to go out the back today because I swear my mum's going to turn up, bro. You don't want to get chewed out, bro. This is what it's like having these fans and Arteta because they're walking embarrassments, bro. Walking embarrassments to the rest of us. Do you know what I'm saying? Why are you talking about Liverpool? Why are we out muscled this? We're always trying to talk up something that's not true, bro. It's actually taken us a fucking age. And even now, when Romano said it's a here we go, and everyone's saying it's done, it still ain't done. It still ain't been on Sky, has it? Or anywhere like that. Has anyone seen it confirmed on any big publication? Or have you just seen it from Romano?
No,
Yeah?
but for the Superman thing, I just saw the AI picture of him signing a contract. It's not on the Arsenal website yet. If he's already signed the contract, surely they'd be straight out with that. He will sign. Of course he'll sign. But I mean, they're just rinsing it.
Yeah. They were squeezing blood out of a stone, man. They've announced it a million times. They just keep going on with the same and then expect us to be happy about it, excited about it. I can't. You've ruined it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Big up Mally. I am hot. I'm boiling for real.
Rich Moneymaker says that the Chelsea fan Arsenal should be going for Neto. It will cost you over 100 million. Lol. Great facts to the legends. Hit the license subscribe. Benny Gal mocking Chelsea for losing last night. Yeah, listen, that guy's he really talks like a 10-year-old in the schoolyard when he's arguing football. Yeah, well, my player's better than yours with no evidence to it. Just, mine's better than yours. Your player's shit. Your player's shit. I remember having an argument with a Liverpool fan of mine, a Liverpool fan mate of mine, who's very like that. He has nothing to back up his points. And it was the summer we signed Santi Cazorla, and they signed fucking Joe Allen for more, by the way. And I said, what are you doing? Joe Allen's a better player. So what do you mean he's a better player? I said, have you even seen Santi Cazorla play? Yeah, he's shit. He's shit. And like, you know what I mean? It's just come on, man. So it's okay to criticize your club sometimes, man. How did that Joe Allen signing work out, by the way? Unbelievable. Big up Mr. Waffle in there as well. Godfrey, of course. Big up the legend Shane Abuse every time. Come on, Godfrey. You've been there since the start. And big up the Danny Reacts, absolute legend in the house.
Danny.
Mr. Waffle saying AJ problem. Oh, that's between you guys. I shall scroll down. Bars is in the house saying Shane is bigger than Troops. I wish, man.
One day.
Gotta keep going. Apparently we had fucking Baba Flossie in the not Mama Flossie, Baba Flossie in the chat today saying, oh yeah, it's because anybody who goes anti Arteta can grow as quick as Shane's channel. Not the number one, I'm already just over 1,000 subs. It's not like I'm ripping the place up. And number two, that's the complete opposite. It's the complete opposite. If you go pro Arteta, you will climb this ladder very, very fucking quickly. Very quickly. Because this modern society, these softies, these snowflakes, man, especially post-COVID, anyone who sort of hit puberty or beyond that after that period, they need to be told that everything's fine all the time. About 50 times a day, they need affirmations all the time. So they want to go into a fucking Semiu or an Igal who will tell them that not only is Sesko not shit, he's the best striker in the world. And they go, oh, yay. So they need to be told things are great. They need to be told things are great all the time. Everyone says, make sure you subscribe to Liontex. The guy's an absolute legend, man. Let's get him up to 400 as quick as possible. Absolute dude, man. You have to come on the channel again, Liontex. You're a legend, man. Always welcome. Always welcome. Crystal Palace signed Walter Benitez, goalkeeper from PSV, on a free. Experienced Argentinian international with experience in European competition as well. That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
Who would have thought?
But this is the thing. Yeah. But you see, they're getting your man Diamande. The Porto defender, absolute legend. Yeah, that's who we should be after. Palace are moving, right? I think Eze will stay. I think he'll go. I'll get here a year. The only way that I think Eze might leave is that he might go, well, what is he, 26 now? And he had to come up through the championship. He might go, I might miss my chance if I stay. That would be the only thing that would make him move. If there's any Palace fans in the chat, I don't know if there is. Would you be mad if he left? Would you blame him? Like, obviously, you'd be upset. But would
I
you
would-
understand, I think, is what I'm getting. So what do you think, Booze? Do you think he'd leave if the chance came along?
Absolutely. I mean, I've even heard that he was kind of linked with Spurs, so I hope that don't bloody happen. Like even they seem to be getting their act together before we do. Oh no,
Yeah.
but we're just we're just over exaggerating. It's all hyperbolic. It isn't. It isn't. That is not the standard. The standard to be taken out of the bin of every other club. Instead of taking their big players, like what Man United and Man City and Chelsea used to do, when they used to come and take our players. How did you guys feel then? They weren't taking our rubbish, was they? No. What other Premier League teams take our rubbish, bro? So we're the rubbish collectors, and I'm tired of that. And that's the first thing that needs to change. But yes, in terms of Eze, I'll bite your hand off for him now. Yes, I think he would come if we were in for him. But to be honest, are we serious? Does it look like we're serious? Because from the outside looking in, it bloody don't. It looks like we ain't got no clue. And Bert has been here since March. That's the one thing I was hoping for. I'm not hoping for miracles. I'm not hoping for water from wine or whatever and all that kind of stuff. But what I am hoping for is competency. And I ain't seeing it in Nkunku, Kepa, Madueke. I mean, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to make me jump out the window? Like, big up Vigilante each and every time. Like, what are we doing here? That's the level. Oh, yeah, because they're better than what we've got. So is Sesko, so what? That's still not the level we should be going for. And like I keep saying, I'm not even doubting Sesko. I'm not trying to say he's a bad player or putting everything on him. I'm just saying that it's not his time yet. He's not who we need right now. He's not the more calculated risk. There's no tangible evidence that anyone can show me that he's going to come and do well in the league.
There is none. There's none. And you see, where I make these people fall on their fucking arse is that they go, oh, he did it in the Portuguese league. He did it in the Portuguese league. And I always flip it to them and say, okay, so how many goals did he get? It was 60 whatever goals in 2 seasons, right? Would Sesko score that many in the Portuguese league? There's not a fucking hope. Not a hope. So it's over for me there. But this is what we're dealing with, man. This is what we're dealing with. The Assemble says, sorry, that's a game between you guys. Gunnar Z says, or change our name to Arsenal to Chelsea 2. Yeah, Chelsea 2.0, man.
Chelsea B.
You need to show Pinky video the comments. Has he got a new video up, or has he just getting roasted in the comments? He does it, man. I thought you were over 300. Did you not put it up? Did I not see you put it up? Over 300. Did I not see a post, mate?
Guys, go and subscribe to Lion Tech now, guys.
I thought you put up a post to say it. Well, my bad if you didn't. I don't know. Maybe I dreamt it. My bad. The Pinky, we'll show him. We'll show him. Don't worry. We'll get there. Aaron's coming on soon, so we'll have a go at that then. Zero Requiem says Chelsea is the London human trafficking syndicate. And we are their number one customer. Yeah, we have a stamp card. 6 player comes free. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's very good. We might as well change it. Oh, that was Andrew. It was to North London as blues the colour. Shameless from both teams. How can Chelsea sell to a rival? Yeah. Well, they're the ones getting out of this fucking with a lot more than we are, man.
Yeah, because
they're getting out a lot more than we are.
Shane, all of a sudden, when Madueke is linked, now all of a sudden I keep hearing how he's an England international. So then why is Chelsea selling him then? Why have they got no qualms to sell him to a rival then? That's a great point there from Andrew, because it's their rubbish. It's their rubbish. That's why they've got we're helping them out. It's crazy. So go on, bro.
We're digging them out. We are. We're digging them out. That's what we're doing. Like, so, apparently Liverpool now might be getting 35 million to 40 million for Kwanzaa, right? So if they get 40 million, they've beaten our all-time record for income with a player that wasn't getting in their team. We cannot sell on our so-called reserves because this manager makes it pertinently clear that they're not part of his plans. So the price drops. You know what I mean? If you go to someone and say, oh yeah, I saw the car around the side of the house, like there's weeds growing up past the tires. Obviously, you don't need it anymore. Yeah, give me 10 grand. Well, no, you don't need it anymore. I'll give you $1,000 to take. I'm doing you a fucking favor here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's taking up space. I'm doing you a favor. But these people though, they know, because look at Zinchenko. His wages, for one thing, we can't get rid of them. Because if talk of him going to Milan and they're like, right, well, we'll give you 5-10 million because his wages are so high. And well, okay, yeah, we'll do that. We do. I think partly someone put up, it might have been Mr. Waffle or Vigilante, one of them, and it was someone else. I apologize. That party going is the 20th free person we've let go on a free, not counting youth team now, players that were in the first team. The 20th we've let go on a free in Arteta's reign. You know what I mean? Players just running their contract. It was Xhaka, Partey, Aubameyang, Ozil.
Would that have been? You know how much
craziness.
money? Yeah.
It's craziness. And these are expensive players, man.
And
Also,
so-
was a record breaker. Aubameyang was a record breaker.
Right,
You know
right.
what I mean? Making a
and
loss on all of them.
I've been saying this, Shane. I don't know, like from the moment the moment I started making the channel, I've always said Ronald McDonald business, and this is what
Yep.
I mean by that. This is because we've been rubbish at this. Do you know what I mean? We never make money off these players, and as you said, you don't put them in the shop window enough either. So even if he was to get Kepa, even if your logic was all right, he might be a good backup, la di da, I guarantee you're not going to see him more than 2 times next season. And I'm willing to put money on unless Ray gets injured.
Yeah.
Because
and we know what Kepa does in the cups. He ruined Chelsea's cups. Yeah, I mean, he's one of the worst keepers around. That's why when people say, "Oh, well, but it's just back up, it's just 5 million," just don't buy him. Just use him. If you're going to sign a keeper that bad, then don't bother. Don't bother doing it because he's shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why didn't Bournemouth want to keep him for 5 million? It's only 5 million. Why did they want to keep him? They saw through him. They've moved on. We're getting a player that Bournemouth don't want, and they saw him close up. They saw him close up.
Chelsea, yeah. So just add that onto the cherry on the cake. You know what I mean? That's it. That's it. Great point.
The cherries on the cake. So they're called the cherries. That's the cherries on the cake, people. That's a game between yous. AJ, the legend that is AJ saying, of course, the whole attack isn't good enough. Saka and Ethan aside, but that doesn't mean no. It's you see, this is the thing. I get why people want to try and big stuff up, but when it's about something you're passionate about, then no. You know what I mean? If you want to sort of, if you have a group of friends and one of them's a bit of a dickhead and you don't really have to deal with him much, and he's whatever he does doesn't really affect you, it's fine just to go, yeah, look, he's grand, leave him alone. But when it's affecting something I love, man, I'm not going to ignore it. I'm not going to ignore signing shit players for the sake of it. And I'm not going to find positives that aren't there. He is not a very good player. That's it. If he was, he would have shown it by now. If he had any sort of potential, he would have got into the Chelsea team. He wouldn't have had to go to Holland to find his feet. These are all things that it's all just fact. So I won't find a positive in it. Oh, but he's good cover for Saka. I don't want cover for Saka. I want someone that will challenge Saka for his position.
Exactly.
I don't want someone. Saka needs a rest for a start. If we get in someone like Mbeumo, he could end up with another manager starting ahead of Saka because Saka's ruined with this injury. Saka is ruined with this injury. It's crazy. A big up Taron every time. Exactly. Big up Taron every time. Absolute legend. Lookman is better than these guys. Lookman's a top player, man. I like Lookman. And again, it's kind of hypocritical for me to say he wouldn't have had to go away. He went to Italy to find his feet and all that. And it was Kenny Ken that said he's had 3 English teams before that. That's why he's a bit wary, you know. I know, okay. But some players need to be in a good team to shine. And then there's other players that shine at bad teams and they can't shine at a big team. I think he's someone that needs to be surrounded by top players.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but Lookman, for me, what makes me go, I want him, was that he scored a fucking hat-trick in a European final. And I go, you're a type of player I need. You're a type of player that would tell. And he cursed out his manager when his manager gave him shit. You know what I mean? So I'd want him to come in and say, you know what, with Vertonghen, say, oh, stop taking the player on. Fuck you. I'm going to keep taking him on. This is what I do. Stop trying to clip my wings. You know what I mean? And this is what you want.
Yeah, because I
keep never sign him though. Would you ever sign someone like Lookman?
And this is at the detriment to Arsenal as well. And then you'll have the people that always keep enabling it. Oh, but we're not going to get him because he's got an attitude or he's too creative. So then what is Arteta doing? I say on my channel, he's turning these players into sporks, bro. And you're asking them to eat a T-bone steak. You're turning them into sporks. Like, these are sharp knives and you're turning them into sporks right now, bro. You're anti-football. Like, there was a question in the chat. Who would he play? Dennis Bergkamp or Odegaard? He'd probably play Odegaard, bro.
No, he would, yeah. He would, yeah.
He's anti-football. That's what I'm trying to tell you, man. It will turn you into a spork and then say, can you cut this steak? Big up Aaron. We might even have to do the whole relay thing. Pass the baton. Do you know what I mean? Big up Aaron each and every time, bro. You know what I mean?
Spork. I love that. He is turning him into fucking sporks, though, man. That's what he is. That's what he does. That is what he does. Oh, man, I like that. I like that a lot. I like it a lot. Dio will say it again. Lookman has £47 million buyout clause. Yeah, you see, the thing is, AJ, and I'd be the same. We'd all sign him, but we have to remember that this manager won't sign him. So, you know, we won't take a personality like that. He won't do it. There's no way. But, you know, I would love Bertha to just say, well, I'm signing him, you better play him. That's what I was hoping would. I think that's what we were all hoping would happen. And it just doesn't seem to be happening that way, man. It just does not seem to be happening that way. And that's scary. That's scary. Yeah, Aaron, I'm sure I've answered your text. I'm geez, am I that far behind the chat? I do apologize. Let me just scroll down. Oh my god. Sorry, people. Sorry, people. Getting a bit carried away. Is that Normski's in the house? Absolute legend in the house. Big up, Norms. I apologize. I don't know how long you've been in the house, but I've missed it all. I've missed it all.
Wow.
Next Arsenal transfer rumor, Dewsbury Hall. Yeah.
70 million as well.
Don't say that because we know it will happen. Don't say that because that is incoming, man.
Unbelievable.
That is incoming.
No wonder Troops is crashing out, bro. Because we're here in 2025 talking about goosebumps. Like I said, maybe he's just got a rash. Maybe it's just hives because it's hay fever season. Yeah. Like we're talking about Nkunku. We're talking about Kepa. We're talking all of their trash. This is unbelievable. I can't believe it's. I can't believe like this stuff is even seeing the light of day. And I'll tell you this as well, right? How much, like I asked the chat, how much is Madueke going to cost Arsenal? How much do you think Chelsea will sell him for? Bearing in mind that Lookman's sitting there for 47 million and he ain't going to be asking for whatever wage Nico Williams was on. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
How much?
Big up the touchline for the raid as well. I don't know when that came in. If I missed it, I do apologise. It's only after flicking on my phone and I'm only seeing it. So big up the touchline for the raid. Absolute legend. Andrew Baum says, I would sack this idiot right now. Fact. I would even give the job to a pet until someone of class became available. I know this might not be a popular opinion. He would be respected. You see, this is the thing. This is the thing that I said this last season, that I would have sacked Arteta at Christmas, right? When we went out of the cup, I would have sacked him then. Get in someone like, and it might sound contradictory because I'm saying I don't want an ex-player and I don't want a young manager and all that. But I would have got in an Henry, tell him this is just till the end of the season. We are getting so-and-so at the end of the season. But just his presence would get the crowd going. We could have had a run in the Champions League then and we could have done something. You know what I mean? That's what I would have done. But I would then tell him that you know, it is only for you know, until the end of the season, and then maybe make him assistant manager too, like an Ancelotti or something like that. And then with the idea that he'll get the job in a few years. But I like it when someone says it like that. Just sack this idiot right now. I mean that I genuinely feel, views, that the day that I turn on Sky and it says Arteta's left or Arteta's been fired, I honestly think that it will feel like a weight's gone off me. It will feel like yes, you know what I mean. It will just feel like it's all fine now, because I've said it before. My biggest issue with this guy is that he's killed my hope, and I've never not had hope for this club. Even when we've been in the doldrums under Wenger and stuff like that, I always found a way, like the top Gooners, to an extent, to go, well, we still have Alexis Sanchez. Something could happen. We could win a cup. We could do this. If he just gets this player, if he gets that player. So I understand top Gooners to an extent. And yeah, big up touchline, man. Absolute legend. Big up touchline every time, man. So, you know, he's killed my hope. This manager has killed my hope, and I can't forgive him for that, man. I can't forgive him for it. I will get so much hope when he's gone. Who are we going to get next? I hope he plays Eton. I hope he plays Skelly in midfield.
But Shane, hear the logic of this, right? Because I know obviously you're quite big on the whole no ex-manager, and I'm like that as well. I just want a proven winner. I want us to do something that we're not used to doing. This is my whole point. But we never move like that. So then move like that. Show everyone that we're doing stuff differently, yeah? We're here to stay, all the rest of it. But hear what, right? Look at the Cesc Fabregas argument. He got Como promoted. He kept them in the division, mid-table. He was getting looked at by Inter Milan at one point.
Yeah,
he's done things that Arteta didn't do before he came here. He was the cone man at Man City. So there's even more of an argument. Yes, I don't want to ex-player either. I'm just saying there's more of a logical argument for someone like Cesc than us when we went and got Arteta.
Yeah, he's got experience. He's got experience at least.
All we do is, enable and rationalize and make excuses for. But he's so close. Just give him his pieces. He's had opportunity to have pieces. These are the pieces he chose. His talent ID is garbage. I'll end on that.
Yeah. No, you're right. His talent ID is it's up his arse, man. It's up his arse. But you know, we've known that for a long time. But with Cesc, I would like him to get another job at a big club first, an Inter Milan, someone like that, or an Atletico Madrid or something, and learn the pressures of a high job, and then yes, in time. But the only thing, and I know what I mean, it's just because I have so much respect for Kenny Ken. I don't want him to come in for that because Kenny Ken would be in bits, man. He despises him.
Let me make this clear. Let me make this clear. I don't want an ex-player. I don't want Fabregas. Yeah. I want a winner. Ancelotti, Conte, Simeone. I want a winner. Yeah. I want to. Let me make that clear. I'm just saying, there's more of an argument.
I know.
if there's more of an argument, because I see in Dio in the chat, people want Fabregas now. Like, I don't know who he's, not me. I'm just saying there's more of a logical argument than when we went to Man City and took their assistant. Do you know what I'm saying? Who ain't done nothing in the game. That's my point.
Yeah,
but I don't
Dio
want.
says we need to sign 2 left wingers, 2 centre forwards, a DM, a central midfielder, and a left back. Yeah, and that's after 700, now 800 million spent. That is crazy. That is crazy work. And people say that this manager needs time and that he hasn't done a bad job. Sackable. That is sackable on its own. That is sackable. Yep. Oh, look at Chelsea's big squad. Yeah, at least they're not the fucking thinnest squad in the league, mate. You know what I mean? Big up to Normski, the absolute legend, man. Normski, I did watch that video earlier. I can't because it's TalkSport. I wish I could show it. But they just do you for a copyright like that. I do have standards, people who don't want Emi Martinez, don't have standards. Emi Martinez is a top keeper, man. He is a top keeper. Madueke was a Tottenham Academy reject. There you go. No, Declan Rice was a Chelsea Academy reject, wasn't he? We aren't getting Sesko. The club listens to these top gooners taking offence to a release clause and shit, so we're not getting them. Yeah, but they're all back there scuttling around like rodents now, man, because they've all backed this Sesko deal that he's the next second coming of Robin Van Persie and Elka and Ibrahimovic. And now they're stuck. Now they're stuck because now they're going, oh shit, we backed him. Can we backtrack on Gyökeres? Will I delete one of the videos I made saying he's shit and try and find one of the old ones where I said he was good and promote that? Where we just go, yeah, this is what we think. We say we don't want such a player. If Sesko comes, we'll go, we never wanted him. Let's give him a chance. If he proves us wrong, we go, brilliant. I was wrong. I'm so glad I was wrong because he's scoring goals for my club. But for them, it's all a game. That's why you have your guy going, hold that about so I told you we'd get Zubimendi. We all knew we'd get Zubimendi. We were just, all we said was if Madrid come in, he'll go to them.
He will. And
logical.
And they never come and they never came in. That's facts, bro. That's facts. They got too many midfielders. Why would they come in for him? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it just don't make any sense, bro. It really don't. No. And we're always saying, we're happy to get mudded because if we're getting mudded, Arsenal's winning. All that kind of hold that and you better say sorry or don't come back on this train now with this and that and the other. No, like you said, we're going to say what we think. I want Gyökeres over Sesko. However, if the club ain't going to do that and you do want Sesko, why ain't he here yet? That's what I'm saying. If Sesko comes and does well, great. But I don't mean I'm going to check because there's logic behind what I'm saying. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it don't mean that we're going back on anything. We're saying that we ain't got no choice in it. If you as the club want him, cool, we have to accept that. What can I do to change it? All I'm saying is, if you've done all that homework for 2 years, why ain't he here yet? Why ain't it done?
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
all I'm saying.
But that's just the thing. That's and fair play to Dio, man. He's saying you would think that with all this alleged groundwork that was done for this Sesko deal, they would have known he wanted to release those. We've been after him for 2 years, Dio, and they haven't figured this out yet. It's craziness. I mean, maybe he's changed his mind. Maybe he's seen, oh shit, man, who are they signing? Fucking Kepa? I don't know. Or other teams are sniffing around them, or Madrid has said, we'll get you in a year. Who knows? But we can get mad about it, right? We can get mad about it. But Moneypenny and fucking AFTV and Zippy and all these guys, they don't have a right to get mad about him wanting to release goals because they daily lower the stuff. They lower the standard of our club every single day with their, this is great. Why are you giving out? Christian can't get mad about this. None of these guys can get mad about this because they have lowered the standard of our club so much that I've never seen it so low. I've never, ever seen it so low where they have made us seem, and we've been saying this for time, views, that we act like a mid-table club because why are we saying, the journey? Like, we finished 10 points off Liverpool, and I keep saying this. They drew 2 of their last 5 games. They would have won all 5 if they needed to, right? So it would have been, say, 23 points. So essentially, to me, that's what we finished behind them. In my head, that's what we finished behind them. So they dog-walked us. We weren't top for a day. We're not top for a day. And we're getting told after fucking 6 years that season was acceptable. That was back. Not
it's
just
only one bad year. It's only one bad year, Shane.
Yeah. Not the 2 8-place finishes. The 2 8-place finishes, the dropping out of the Champions League when we had no European football to contend with. It's been a disaster. It's been a disaster, right? This whole reign has been a disaster. Look at what Dio put up earlier about all the players we need. It's craziness, man. It's absolute craziness. But they have lowered the standard. They're the ones that say to everybody, you're greedy, you're a glory hunter for going 5.5 years or whatever it is without a trophy. Come on, man. This is just, that's craziness saying that's good. So they don't get to get mad because they've made everybody believe, mainstream media included, that we're a journey team. It's all about the journey. Oh, look, if we win something along the way, it's a bonus. You know what I mean? If we win something along the way, it's a bonus. Never. That has never been the Arsenal way, ever. We're the third best team in England, history-wise. City are two trophies, I think, away from passing us.
I was going to say, not for
Chelsea
long.
could pass us if they take off again.
Yeah.
And this could all happen on this clown's watch, man. Something that would have been unthinkable.
Yeah,
5
so
years ago.
instead of winning trophies, and instead of being, you know, trying to be the pinnacle in sport, we're on a mission to heal the world and make it a better place for you and for me. I can't even be bothered. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. You and for me. Yeah. That's what we're trying to do. Bro, because you're happy clappers. You're clapping everything.
Yeah.
Oh, you've taken a step. Well, everyone's gonna take a fucking step in it, and unless you're unfortunate enough to not be able to use your legs. And no disrespect, I'm just saying you're clapping things that should be expected. Oh, what? Do you see how Odegaard presses? Well, you should be doing that. You got legs. You're a professional footballer. Like the sky's blue. Like
cheering everything.
Yeah, bro. So as you said, when you're clapping everything, then that's when it's delusional. That's when it's delusional, bro. That's when it's delusional. So we're not interested in being first. We're just happy being at the table, and we want to heal the world, people. I don't know what else. I'm lost, bro. The upside down. Here we are.
Yeah, it's craziness, man. Bing says, I'm chill this summer. Last summer, I was wound up by the lack of activity. This year, I'm holding on to that fraud, crashing and burning, popcorn in hand. That is one way to the 3 or 4 trophies behind City, are they? It's 2 leagues, though, isn't it? Is it 2 leagues behind? I could be wrong on that static. Someone said that. I was just quoting someone else. But 3 or 4 trophies behind. Yeah, but the City could do that in a fucking season, mate. City could do that in a season. But big up Bigs.
Yeah.
Daniel Hutton says, if Arsenal decide to get rid of a player we don't want, or Chelsea going to come over and sign him, nope. They would just go and get a world-class player. And that's the difference. That's the difference. They're moving like a top side. Andrew Bones says, sorry, I mistyped what I said about the manager. I meant the right Per Mertesacker, as he know the young player as well. Yeah, Mertesacker's done well in that U team. He doesn't get enough. He doesn't get enough credit, I don't believe. But there's just this manager's absolutely bollocked the opportunity. This is a golden generation he's had. A golden generation. Smith Rowe, Saka, Ethan, Miles Lewis-Skelly. All of them have massive ceilings, and they haven't come close to reaching.
Now we've got Dalman to worry about next season. He's about to turn Dalman into a spork, people. Remember I told you, bruv. He's about to turn Dalman into a spork, bruv. I'm telling you this right now. Be scared. Sorry, Shane.
No, you're facts. You're right. He will. He will too. And we had Igal come on and start fucking jawing at us because we were saying, you know, do we think that when Dalman becomes of age, should he go out on loan to what if this manager's still here? And we all universally said yes. Let him go out on loan to a good team. Oh, you want to know something? Bullshit. That's bullshit. You want to know something? I have to put on the video, man. If I'm contradicting myself, I have to do it.
Deluded. Usually, I'm the more positive guy. Today, I'm gonna need you to be the more positive, uplifting guy because I kind of feel down. And you know why? Because I'm worried, bro. I'm worried.
What are you worried about?
I'm worried because I'm worried Arsenal's not going to do what it takes to get over the line once again. I'm worried that I'm seeing Man City, I'm seeing Chelsea, I'm seeing Liverpool doing things that is making me believe we could be coming in fourth next season, challenging to try to just get back into the Champions League position.
4 hours later.
And you guys are all freaking out. Calm down. Like, I know you probably hear this every transfer window and you're not happy after every transfer window, but some of the stuff you guys are blaming Arteta for it has been happening at the club when he was a player. Some of the stuff has been happening at the club before when Arsene Wenger was here. And I feel like you guys are putting all your past grievances of Arsenal Football Club on a manager.
The contrary, just the way he comes on. And when I do the 4 hours later, it really was 4 hours later when he was saying he's worried and then he tells us to calm down.
And they learned they were beaten by the Bears, Shane, because
they're beaten by the Bears.
Look at Robin Lyle. Look at him. Look at Jacko. You know what I'm saying? They all learn that because this is what Arteta does. You know, 1 minute they're saying this, and the next minute you're just caught in a bold-faced lie. That's what they do.
Yeah.
That's what they do. They learn from the best, bro. All from Arteta. It's like watching Crash Test Dummies with Arteta's face on it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, never leave the geezer alone. You know what I mean? Never, bro. This guy, bro.
Leave the geezer alone. The bloke, man.
The bloke.
Oh. Did you see him going for me on Aaron's? Did you?
No. I did. I think someone was talking about it after the fact that they might have shown some of his comments. So I think I saw.
No, he was in the chat saying I'm a creep, but he's I won't go on a screen with that chain guy. He's a creep. Big up to Static. He screenshot some of the comments, and I got thinkers to narrate them. So we'll run through them quickly. It only takes about a minute.
Calm down, pal. You're going to burst a blood vessel. I like this DJB guy. Seems cultured. Shane, I can smell your morning breath from here, you utter creep.
Notice that he did a different jersey, a different club's jersey in every one of them.
Different jersey in every one. I was going to say that, bro, but leave Shane.
I've slated players and Arteta since creating content. That's why I'll never and probably will never work directly with Arsenal.
That's the only one where he's wearing an Arsenal jersey, by the way.
But who on earth are you to tell me what opinion I'm meant to have? Do I take pictures of you on a green screen because I don't agree with your football opinion?
What on earth has a green screen got to do with anything? What?
Because when he was in Aaron's chat, I had the background of the Last Supper with him in it, and it seemed to bother him the most out of anything.
Now it makes sense.
We were saying, come on the stream. No, I can't share a screen. I can't have my boat race. This is exactly what he said. I can't have my boat race next to that creep Shane because he knows if he does a live stream, he'd be found out. Yeah,
what's
boat race?
What's that cartoon, bruv, with the alien, bruv? Is it Squid? Is it Futurama, bruv? That's who he looks like, bruv. Either him or fucking Bender. You know, with the robot, bruv. Are you kidding me? Your boat race. This guy here. And did you see him trying to run around the Emirates, bro?
Oh man. Yeah, that's the one that Static wants on. We've seen it, we've watched it. And his voice, because he's not thinking straight, his voice goes to his normal voice. Yeah, I'm running around the Emirates. I'm going to then leave the geezer alone. Liverpool want Isak. Why can't we just pay them down the money? He wouldn't come to us, Daniel, to be fair. I think they know he wouldn't come to us now. We could have got him back in the day. But he wouldn't come to us now. Because if he played out the left, I can guarantee you if we had Isak, he'd play him out the left. And he'd leave 29 up front. And going crazy. But I remember a few years ago, Premier League team were going to sign a player and the fans all protested. And the club backed out. Am I going crazy? I don't remember. I'm not sure. Was that to do with what's his name? That was at United that went was someone after him. I don't know unless there was grape charges or something like that. I don't know. Theo Lewis and Rico's own words. I would love to work in England one day. Yeah, but I think our ship might have sailed in that as well. We could have got him back in the day. No, Arteta all the way, man. Tottenham or Chelsea, maybe. I know that Liverpool fans protested when they were going to put up the ticket prices, and straight away it went away. Man.
Bro, we protested for the Super League, but we can't go and all of a sudden that was scrapped, even though they just changed the Champions League into it.
Yeah.
And now we're not going to protest that we're taking every reject from Chelsea. Like, oh my God.
Yeah. Different standards, man. Different standards. That's the craziness about it, man. That is the craziness about it. We just tolerate mediocrity all the time. It's always tolerating mediocrity. That's my biggest issue because it was never the fact before. And now it is. Carmen's big respect to Joe. Static saying, keep hitting the like button and subscribe to Shane Abuse. Come on, Static, you absolute legend.
Right,
Static in the house. And big up Joe, of course. Absolute legend in the house.
Joe.
Kwame Gyökeres is the answer, but Arteta's so immature, disapproves. Yeah, because he knows he'll have to play him. And he knows that if his numbers drop, then it's on his system. That all the eyes fall on him. With Sesko,
And there's no-
excuse me, with Sesko, he can say, "Oh, he's young" and all that sort of shit.
Exactly. No excuses as well with Gyökeres, isn't it? Because if you can't succeed with someone like that, then I don't know what to say. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Joe says end up with either Callum Wilson or Calvert-Lewin. I wouldn't be surprised. Calvert-Lewin, I know he's wanted him for a while. He's always looked at him because he runs around like a headless chicken. But he's I mean, how he's Mr. Glass. Like, imagine how much injuries he'd get with us. The chap would play, but he'd probably play more football or less football than Tomiyasu if we got him. He would run him into the ground. They're going to dominate it. Yeah, with Newcastle. Newcastle will be up with them as well. We're going to get absolutely spanked out of this. Absolutely spanked. Big up to Aaron, the legend in the house. What's the story, my man?
Yeah, man, all good. Yeah, sorry to be than usual, but I couldn't when I saw you two bloody superstars live, and I thought, yeah, they're having a little chinwag. I thought, fuck it, I want to join in. Send me the link.
I'll have a bit of that.
Oh man, I want a full Irish roasting. Come on,
full Irish.
No, well, we haven't really been roasted. We went through a bit of Semiu. That hypocrite was on. He was on Talksport, but I couldn't show it because it was on Talksport. But he's they had some agent on who said that that Gyökeres wants Arsenal and it's looking quite solid now. But he's after recently putting out that Gyökeres is shit and that Sesko's the one, and so you could just see him trying to backtrack. You could see him trying to backtrack, and he's all the Arsenal fans want Sesko and all this sort of stuff. He was just trying to backtrack, but the one that got to me was he put up about because Sesko wants a minimum fee release. Apparently, that's what's holding it up, right? Which a lot of players get, but he got really upset about it, and I put a big comment in it next to the video. He got really upset about it, saying, how can he want a minimum? We're not a stepping stone club. Yeah. And I put in his comment section, you don't get to get mad about this, right? Him and Pincus and AFTV and all these people that tell us that we are now a journey club and that, they lower our standards they've lowered them to the ground, right? We were just discussing this the other day with you and with DJ V and stuff saying, have our standards ever been this low before? And I don't think they have. Or our expectancy to win things. We should just be grateful. Getting to the semi-finals is an achievement. So the likes of him don't get to get mad now when people see us as a stepping stone club because they've lowered our standards to that point. I don't know what you're taking is. We can get mad about it. But for me, they don't get to because they've done this to our club.
Well, yeah. What's the square root of the problem? It's funny, isn't it, how you suss what the square root of any problem is, whether it be personal, whether it be about football, whether it be about this and all that. Once you find the square root of any problem, it's funny how they start moving goalposts, isn't it?
Yeah.
They are the square root of the problem. That's not just in football, it's in everything. Once you suss it, they don't like it. Guess what they do? They backtrack. But the problem is their followers are so that they'll just go, oh, yeah, no, that's all right. Yeah, we'll just listen to what he says next. Hashtag contradiction. What are we doing here? They'll do that all the time. They'll just say one thing, say the other thing, say the other thing. Oh, and then they'll say, yeah, but in transfers, they change. They regularly, the goalposts get moved. You lot move the goalposts. Come on, man. Look, it's one of them things. They'll go, oh, yeah, but we've got a job to do to report the news. And I'll get things like that change and all that. But your core beliefs shouldn't really change, should they? But why do theirs change all the time?
Mm-hmm.
I don't really understand that. Do you know what I mean? The news changes, but not what you believe in. What about that? Isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, and if it does flutter and change, then why should it believe you if you chop and change and you flip flop every 5 seconds? Listen, these lot in there, and we always say it on our channel, they're a plague. They're a virus because do you know what? We've all been done. This fridge freezer up here and this Bacardi breezer up here and all you wonderful so-and-sos in the chat. We all have the same opinion about the same manager. We've had it for a long time. We've had the same things about Arsenal. We've got the same general core belief, and that is to Donald Trump, make Arsenal great again. Do you know what I mean? We're not going to build any walls, though. We don't need to build any walls. We're all well and good. Although I would like to keep the top gooners out by building a wall.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to build. Yeah, that's a good idea, bro.
We might. Do you know what? Actually, we should build a wall. Sorry, let's just build a wall around the Emirates Stadium, innit? Around all the entry gates around there. We'll just build a big wall.
We have to govern this shit, bro, for real.
Yeah, it's just sort of funny when like you get real people like us. Do you know what I mean? And we always speak from the heart. We always say what we think, and it gets so dismissed, so disregarded, and almost like in their sort of area in their field, almost sort of laughed at, like we're this and we're all that. But the real issue is them all along. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, man. We all know, man. We're all cozy here. We're all cool. We know the actual crack. We know what's going on. And these lot the square root of the problem. When the foundation of what you believe in is questioned, do you know what I mean? You've got issues. You've got massive issues. But as long as you keep them and you're the same person, you'll never be wrong, will you? But all of these top gooners, all of these Arsenal fans that will come on and they'll spit all of this nonsense. Let them do it, because eventually they'll just pull the unrope. They'll pull the unrope and they'll be the ones with their feet dangling. Yeah. We can all see it. Just let them hang themselves. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. 100%. And then Theo has a great point here. Build a wall between us and Chelsea.
Chelsea, I was going to read that as well. That's what we need, mate.
Brilliant. Well, listen, we are here.
Hold on, one second. I just see the bloody wind up Yeti in the chat. Big up to you, brother. How you going? There was a bit of a confusion yesterday. Is on the bloody wind up. We had a little offline chat. You bastard. We had a little offline chat. You little wanker. Yeah, breaking news. Arsenal just bought a new dog called Lose. Fuck you, you bastard.
Big up, Yeti.
Yeah. Big up, Yeti.
Yeah.
Big up, man.
But we are here to celebrate Bergkamp. 30 years today, he was signed, man. 30 years today, we signed Mr. Dennis Bergkamp. A little 1 minute clip here. We will get done for copyright, but I don't care because Dennis Bergkamp.
Yeah.
Just sit back.
Just go back and edit the audio.
Dennis Bergkamp played in the snow. He wouldn't leave any footprints. You know, that's how good he was. He used to float. He was just ridiculous, Dennis, his touch. And if you watch his 100 goals for Arsenal, or over his career, Dennis Bergkamp's best goals, some of the goals are just out of this world.
I cannot be objective when I talk about Dennis Bergkamp, because for me, this is the guy that set the tone for me when I arrived at Arsenal. Because when I used to arrive at 8 in the dressing room, the guy is at 7:30. He arrived at 7:30. He arrived at 7:29.
Newcastle, he's the best. He's the best. For me, it was like a maestro.
He was the best player I ever played with by a million miles, and I did think professional.
I mean, where would Arteta play him, or would he get his game?
He wouldn't even play, bro. It turned him into a spork. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
he wouldn't know what to do with him.
He's an absolute clown, man. The Iceman.
It'd be a left 8, wouldn't he? Tracking back for the left. Like, do you know what I mean? That's where he'd play him. He'd play him anywhere but where, because there's a Dennis Bergkamp. You know, when you get these number 10s, and that's why we all say it, they're a free spirit, aren't they? I know that sounds a little bit cheesy, but you've just got to just go, do you know what? You're not even in a position. You just, as long as you're on the field, just do what you do. You don't need to give tactics to these men. You don't need to really give direction to these men. All you do is just go, do you know what? You're good enough on your own without any management to be able to dictate a game and pull the strings exactly how you want it to do. And that's what Dennis would do. You can't manage the world-class first touch. You can't manage the eye for a pass that no one else on the planet can see. You cannot manage that. Oh yeah, right. Okay, that Juventus, which is, I think you've been on stream with me, Shane, when I said this. That with Anthony,
they showed it there.
Anthony, the twisting up of the Juventus defenders just to wait for Freddie Ljungberg. By the way, some of the world's best defenders there against that Juventus, and then flicks it over to Ljungberg, who obviously scores. You can't manage that. There's no tactic for that. There's no tactic for that long ball in the Argentina. There's no tactics for them, things like that. There's no tell you where to be with that. If you're that good, as long as you're on the field, you need no direction in management. None. And that was Dennis Bergkamp. Unbelievable. Great. It almost gets you a little bit emotional, doesn't it?
It does.
Think, wow. That's what we had. And look at what we've got now.
Look at what we've got now.
So we were discussing them earlier, Aaron, and I was saying to views that your favourite moment wasn't even a goal. It was that assist. Where mine is up the one against Newcastle. I love, but I love the pass for the goal to take the lead against Leicester on the final day of the unbeaten season, when he waited, and Vieira was about 10 yards behind him, and he just started galloping, and he wait, played it through, and all the players celebrated with Bergkamp, even though Vieira scored the goal. They saw it was genius. But with a player like that,
was it the finesse against Sunderland?
It's just finesse. It's pure talent. But Wenger, I was looking for quotes on Bergkamp before I came on. I had a quick search when I got back from visiting the outlet that I visit. I had a workout outside, and I was rushing then. But I came in and I was looking quickly, but I found Wenger talking about him, where he said that players like that now are gone. Where like, and it touches on exactly what you said, where you can coach it out of them, or you can tell them not to do it. Where he used to just put a player like that on the pitch and say, and I said to Views earlier, I don't think there would have ever been a time when Bergkamp came in at halftime and Wenger said, you need to stop doing this or you need to stop doing that. Because he'd look at him and go, who am I to tell this guy what to do? He's a fucking genius. Why would you tell a genius to stop? But now modern day, you look at Grealish at City, goes getting restricted. If he goes back to Villa or goes to Newcastle and they let him play freely, you'll see the player that he was again. You can coach it out of him. Sorry, Aaron, you were about to say something there?
No, that doesn't apply to me. I cut you. No, I thought you. If it's, you know what, it's like what Wenger said. Football is an art. Why would an artist want to stop Dennis Bergkamp? Because that is Da Vinci. That is. Do you know what I'm saying? Why on earth would you want to stop an artist as skilled with a brush like Dennis Bergkamp? You just let him paint, didn't you? You don't tell him how to use the brush. You just go, here you go, here's an Essel, paint what you fucking want, mate. And I'm sure it'll be a masterclass at the end. And what Hartson said, it was like, you go and look at club and country, and you know, and I think I'm probably like you boys and probably everyone in the chat. And, you know, we get stuck in the past because we haven't got a good current. We get stuck in the past and we'll all look at Dennis Bergkamp compilations. And I looked at the full one. There's one on YouTube. I'd watched it within the last month. And it's like... it's obviously got its goals for Inter, Ajax, Arsenal, Netherlands, and you're just there and you're just like, is this geezer like a joke or something? Like, probably about 80% of them goals, you're sitting there and thinking, oh my god, and that's why that one against Newcastle, I think was officially voted the Premier League's best ever goal. That's why I think when people know Dennis Bergkamp and or respect Dennis Bergkamp, they go, did he mean it or not? Some of them don't even answer. What do you mean, did he mean it? I see him doing that training. And guess what? That was in 2002. That was Newcastle away. We won 2-0, and I think Sol Campbell might have got the first goal. Guess what happened? Anyone replicate it ever since? That was 2002. 23 years later. Anyone else ever scored that goal?
It's my favorite.
What about all the other leagues? Like maybe someone might say with something. Anyone else in any other leagues scored a goal like that?
I don't think it's been done before. That's just all him. That is all him. But Hughes, listen, man, I know you need to shoot, buddy. Thanks so much for coming on.
No worries.
You want to share out your channel there, bro?
Yeah. Views on Sport. I'm pretty sure you all know by now. Back with the intervention tomorrow. Back at 9 p.m. tonight with the brother Rashid, Arsenal Revolution TV. So the legend that is Aaron Talks Arsenal's going to take the baton. We're going to do a quick little relay. Big up to you, legends. Make sure you're liking and subscribing, and see you again soon, people. Big up, man.
Legend Views. Big up. Thanks for coming on, man.
No worries.
Big up, brother.
Just on that Newcastle goal, this was a quote, Aaron, from Shay Gibbon. Straight after, he said, we just stood there looking at each other, amazed. He's probably the only player who could have pulled it off. But I'm glad you said that about training, because I read his book and he has quotes from Keown and Ian Wright and all saying he's done it in training several times. And you know what gets to me that makes me go that the goal was pure magic is that the commentator doesn't even go ballistic. You know, like a Tony Ebola volley goes off the bar. Oh my God, what a goal. He just says, oh, what a goal. And then they go ballistic watching the replay. That's when they start to get really excited. They go, what has he just done? Because if he didn't mean it, there's no way he would have turned the way he did. He turned with purpose. And then what's great about that is the grace of it is unbelievable. But then it's pure strength to hold off the defender and slot it. And then the calmness. It had everything. It had absolutely everything. It would have been
disallowed now, wouldn't it? Because
they'd find some way to disallow it.
Wouldn't it? They'd have disallowed that now. But thank God that goal was in the era that it was. Because they'd have gone, he's elbowed him in the face. No, he weren't. He was just using his arm for momentum.
He was a big lad, Bergkamp.
Yeah. And do you know what as well is when you have seen there's a specific, and he might have done numerous of them, there's a sort of specific one where he sort of says Robert Pires, and you can see it. And this is the genius of the geezer. And he had you see the size of his head. There's a lot of brain in there. He said, Robert Pires overhit the pass, and it was just a little bit before me. And, you know, all right, he was on the left wing, Robert Pires, when he sort of passed it and it came in. And there was some issue. But he hit it sort of hard and it was just sort of before him. So he's like, in that split decision, that's all I could do. And that tells you the genius of the man. That within probably less than a second, he oh, wow. Once he realised the distance and pace, where he was, who he had behind him, roughly where the goal was. Oh shit, the pass is coming at me at speed. Wow, it's slightly under hit. This is what I have to do to get around this and then put it away. I mean, it's genius. Eat your heart out. We will maybe never see a goal like it.
I don't think so. I think it's too original. I don't think it can be done. You need too many things to fall into place, and you need that right player to be there at the right time. Bicycle kicks will be done over and over again. You know what I mean? But that's different. And the thing about it is, Wenger said it about world class players. He said there's world class, and then there's the Henrys and the Bergkamps and the like that are just above it. And he said that what makes the difference? He said it's that split second, because I'm glad you said that. He said it's that split second that they are able to make up their mind. He said more often than not they'll get it right where another player won't. So it is like, to me, that would be like, you can imagine that in Bergkamp's head like a movie, you know, like White Man Can't Jump or something, when they slow it down and you hear the boop, 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 boop. You know what I mean? Because he just had time to think about that. And think Pires pass, he pinged it in, but we used to pass with purpose then because we knew the players could control it. So you zip it in. It's not none of this zip it into feet and he'll do the rest. But it is just poetry in motion. It has absolutely everything in it. Absolutely everything in it. Now we're sort of sideways.
I'm enjoying
this.
this.
Man, I'm telling you.
I'm
because
not lie.
Bergkamp. I love talking about the older stuff. And you know what I mean? This is just two football fans having a chat, man. And obviously the world-class chat that I hear coming out in numbers, they were unbelievable this morning and unbelievable against
Dennis Bergkamp chat. The Dennis
Bergkamp chat. The Dennis Bergkamp chat.
The Dennis
He changed everything for our club, man. I was saying it to views earlier, but I'll say it again. When Wenger came in, I don't think we would have done the double without Bergkamp, and not just because of on the pitch. When he came in and said, right, I'm getting rid of all the ketchup, I'm getting rid of all this, you're going to start doing yoga, you're going to start doing this stuff. Bergkamp had been there a few years, and they were already seeing it going, well, this guy is fit as fiddle, he's going to bed early, he's doing this and that. It made it so much easier for Wenger to come in and change things, because they were looking at Bergkamp. You know, they just loved him because, number one, he was a joker. He had that English sort of attitude, right? And he was able to give it as good as he played. And he'd fucking throw it about on the pitch, man. He would throw it about on the pitch. He'd put up for the younger players, get stuck in. But when you see Merson and stuff saying things like that, I didn't think a footballer could be that good. You know what I mean? Like, and Ian Wright said before.
And Merson was bloody good, mate. He was
Merson was stuffed, man. But he said that he just looked at him and just went, what the fuck? Because Ian Wright said that about when he signed for Arsenal. He said, I thought players were good. And he said, I got into training with Merson and all. And I went, this is good. You know, this is a different level when you're seeing it every day.
He used to room with him, didn't he?
He did room with him, and he said Bergkamp would come out with his full pajamas on. Have a sip of water, go to bed. He was like, what are you doing? It's like 9:30. And he goes, no, I need to be ready for tomorrow. And he's like, okay, well, if he's doing that, then maybe I should do it. Standards. I'm a professional footballer. Treat your body as a tool, because it is. You know what I mean? But I remember Wright saying that Bergkamp saw passes so quick that sometimes he played it before Ian Wright knew what he was going to do himself. And he said the one against Leeds when he chipped, remember he chipped John Lukic, Ian Wright chipped him. And the through ball, he said it hit him in the face, because he said Bergkamp had played the ball before he knew what he was doing. So it came up and it caught him on the face, and then he chipped the keeper. But the amount of passes you saw with Bergkamp, he played one through for Wright against Chelsea with his left foot, first time, facing sideways, came into him, and he didn't even look. And he played it, and Wright was gone. Imagine he had been there with Wright a few years before. Wright only really got a year and a half with him. You know what I mean? Imagine his numbers, how high his numbers would have been if Ian Wright had played with him for a few years before that. Because
imagine how Thierry Henry's numbers would have been if Dennis Bergkamp hadn't have played with him.
Yeah. And that's in those quotes as well. That's in those quotes as well, where Henry says he's the best player I ever partnered.
Oh,
best player. And he played with Zidane. You know what I mean? And he's saying that Bergkamp,
he played with Messi, for crying out loud. He played with Messi. Let's not forget that. There you go. Only for a couple of years. Dennis Bergkamp played with Messi. Thierry Henry played with Lionel Messi. But that's what. Do you know what? Sometimes things work out, and to take sort of what you said as well about things changing at Arsenal. Of course, after Arsene Wenger took over Bruce Rioch, you know, like you said, and everyone knows, it's well documented. We've changed that. We changed the style and the way of eating and everything like that. And Dennis Bergkamp, of course, was already there. Was already doing that. So I was almost sort of like Arsenal. Was it the Tuesday Club? Sorry, was it where they'd all go out and have a few beers and things like that? And you know, they'd mess around this and all of that. All of a sudden, you've got this world player. Do you remember when Ian Wright said he was at the petrol station? And you see Dennis Bergkamp pull up. And he was just like, oh my God. You know, and you can see Wrighty doing it as an energetic.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh my God. And you see sort of Dennis Bergkamp. And all of a sudden, you've got this icon, this legend of a player come in your squad, and then a few months later, you've got this. You know, they called him Inspector Clouseau, didn't they, when he first came in? Arsene Wenger, the professor. You know, come in and he's changing all these diets and all of this and that, and you've got this world star on the same sort of thing. He must have came in, Wenger, and sort of thought, wow, not only have I got a man of this sort of talent in Dennis Bergkamp, I've got like an unbelievable professional that will set the standards when I'm not about. And they did. The people of Ian Wright's, facts. 100%, the people like of Ian Wright, you know, whilst they would have still kept their little naughty side, they would have gone, like you quite rightly said, wow, man, this is what Dennis Bergkamp's doing, and he's this good. Maybe I need to change. And I think it's set a precedent across that squad, and that's probably a real major reason why Arsenal Football Club were good, because times are changing. Arsene Wenger changed the Premier League really for that, and I reckon Dennis Bergkamp is also in the professionalism, etc., is largely down for it. Amongst his unbelievable world-class goal, and someone put in the chat as well, I couldn't quite remember. I just see the chip and the Leverkusen. Oh I watched that Champions League. That was a group stage, wasn't it? I remember that goal. He almost was like just thinking, and it just
he nearly slipped, didn't he, when he did it?
Yeah. He just slips and dinks into the goalkeeper's right top corner. You know, you just remember looking and thinking, "Wow, man, he can just do that."
It was so exciting.
Do that when he wants.
Was so exciting, Aaron, because 2 or 3 years before we'd have been Bruce Rioch, who doesn't get enough. We finished 5th under him, and Bergkamp came in and stuff like that. But we were still like the thoughts of us doing that the thoughts of us playing in the Champions League alone wasn't. And like 2 or 3 years later, it's only a short time when you think about it. And we're smashing Juves and stuff like that. And people are saying, are Arsenal the best footballing side in the world? And it's just it happened so quick because all these players came in, and Elka and Overmars was just unstoppable, man. He was unstoppable. But when Bergkamp had Overmars and Elka making runs for him, that's when it really took off. That's when he got Player of the Year and stuff in '98, because he just dropped into pockets and just played the ball. And, you know, he put them through just about every single time, perfectly weighted. You know, and then I remember his goal against Birmingham, I think. Bergkamp broke away. They had everybody forward, and he got played through by Henry, I think, on the halfway line. But he showed some unbelievable speed. And this is like about 2
What, is that when he was older? I know exactly when you were
yeah. And he left them behind and then chipped the keeper.
Side.
And then chipped the keeper. And because I remember watching it live, and Bergkamp said, I was going to get caught. Next minute he just, and I was like, what the fuck? Where was that pace? He just never needed to use it before. I never needed it. He had it the whole time. You're fucking hell, man. Unbelievable.
But you're saying
Bolt, goal for Holland against Argentina as well when he took it down.
I put that up, didn't we, on our stream? Well, I always forget. I'm sure it was Frank de Boer, but I always bloody forget.
It was Frank de Boer,
and he pings it. It's like 50, 60. It was ridiculous, wasn't it? He was like well inside his own half and pings it over to the right, and then
Injury
what he does to Ayala. I mean, the control on it, to control that from the air. And then to have that touch, to bounce it around, and then obviously outside of the boot. I was listening. I would never forget it. I was with my nan's, bless us. We was coming back from our little caravan trip, and you know, I was only a young kid, and we was listening to it in the radio because I just wanted to listen because Dennis Bergkamp was involved, and I remember listening to it in the car, and like I can't say it word for word. It was so long ago, but I can just remember the radio station, whatever one we was listening to, they was like screaming because they was just like, oh my bloody God, like how can that even be possible? Like they were just like, one of that, you know what I mean? It was just euphoria, and I was like, oh, Bergkamp's got it, and you almost wanted. It's weird, isn't it? England, you know, we weren't in the competition, of course, at that sort of stage. And especially Argentina being having Overmars and, you know, Bergkamp in there. You wanted them to do well, didn't you, Holland? I maybe speaking for myself, I did. And then obviously, when I heard it was Bergkamp, I just remember being a young kid screaming in the back of the car. You know what I mean? Just buzzing for it. And then you watch it back on the on Match of the Day later. I remember watching it on a tiny little screen with the old aerial. Absolutely crap reception. Honestly, you could barely make it out. Sometimes you'd have that wave coming across where you could barely see it.
Snow going across.
Yeah. That's how I watched the England-Argentina game. In my bedroom, on like a 12-inch screen that you could barely make sort of sense. That's what it was back then, wasn't it? Yeah. And
that was the thing. That Bergkamp one against Argentina. I bet on Holland from '94. All the way up to when they lost the final against Spain. I bet on them every major tournament because I loved them. I used to always put money on them, but now they're so shit, I don't do it anymore. But I had money. I was 17 for that game, and I had money on them. And I went to the pub to watch it with my mate who had money on Argentina. I remember Argentina went down to 10 men. Your man Ortega got sent off for headbutting the keeper, I think. But that goal was last minute to get them through into, I think it was the quarterfinals. So to have that calmness to do it when the ball came over his shoulder. But I remember just going ballistic. It was one of those moments where you
Was
know.
you watching it live, Shane?
I was watching it live. Yeah. I was watching it in the pub. But I remember watching that moment, and then there's the likes of Henry's chip and volley against United. I was in the pub for that as well, actually, where when it goes in, you kind of know, oh, that's going to be remembered. Like your brain instantly knows that's one of those moments where you go, I'll be talking about this in the future. Because for Bergkamp to do that, man, was unbelievable. But with the time that was left, that's when you see the class. Because like Havertz, number one, he wouldn't take the ball down. But if he somehow did mistakenly take the ball down, he'd just swing a leg at it and end up slamming it over the bar or something.
Yeah.
We had players like that could just.
Do you know what you say, Shane?
It doesn't matter what happened; they could just win a game. It was amazing.
Do you know what you say? It's like do you know, like when you say the saying like when men separate from boys, that was like when you separate legends from men, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like there's another bracket in there. There's just another bracket, and he took it to that other level. And you know, if Dennis Bergkamp was playing now, and you could probably say it for a lot of players, of course, but if you was to have a 25-year-old Bergkamp playing in the Premier League now, in whatever league, you'd probably be saying, wow, like this is like maybe one of the best players we've ever seen in our lives, what he could do. And do you know what I wanted to say as well about that Arsenal squad? Let's just say, you know, the title winning Arsenal squads. We had so many players. You'd made a point, and I just wanted to sort of like add on to it with a final ball. Patrick Vieira through the eye of a needle. Ljungberg could play a good pass. You know, probably weren't what he's renowned at, but he could make a final ball. Perez's final ball was unbelievable. Ashley Cole's was good. Henry, the fact that he's still a joint assist record, he could do it. Bergkamp would just, take the piss out of doing it. We had so many players, not only that could score goals, Ljungberg could score goals. We maybe wouldn't have won that league in 2002 hadn't Ljungberg gone on that 7 sort of game crazy run, which we thought would be extended until Fabian saved it. And then of course. You had players that could score in multiple games. You could have players that could make that execution of a pass that no one else could. We have multiple of them. Now we've got, who have we got now? Not even any of them. And Carnu, the standard set was different in Carnu. Carnu was one of them players. He was all right. He might not be as majestic or as whatever, but when I think of Carnu, I'm thinking of the back heel against Middlesbrough. I'm thinking of what he done to Ed De Hoy and Frank Leboeuf. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Getting it right in that corner, looking and just going, dink, far corner, there's your hat trick.
I was listening to that on the radio. I was working at Spar, actually. Do you have Spar over there? Do you?
Yeah, we do,
Yeah, I was working in the Spar, and I was sort of having my lunch back, and I had it on the radio, and we were 2-0 down. I said, oh, for fuck's sake. And there's only 15 minutes left. And then they go, Carney scored. Okay, 2-1. Carney scored again. And then the guy, like you, the guy going ballistic on the radio, because he had no right to shoot from there when he rounded Ed De Hoy. No right. And if he wasn't on a hat trick, I don't think he would have. He would have seconded. But he was so close to the white line, the byline, that when he took the shot, the powder came up. You know what I mean? When he took the shot from where he took it. And I think it was Frank Leboeuf trying to get back. And man, that was just unbelievable. He run straight into the Arsenal crowd. Man. Carney was an unreal player. That chap could do magic with it. His size 15 fucking feet.
Choice. That's our third, fourth choice. It'd be our first choice by a country mile now. Yeah. That's the standard.
Yeah. And we do well to have him. We do well to have him.
100%. Connor was unbelievable.
What a player,
man.
What a player. And then while we had him and all these lads, then we signed Wiltor as well. May as well sign Wiltor as well. He was underrated. Wiltor. He never had a bad game. Left wing, right wing, or up front.
He was solid, mate. Do you know what I always sort of remember? Obviously, we if you say Wiltor, you always remember. You will always remember that. But in amongst that as well, there was a game. It was an FA Cup game. Really annoying me what bloody year it was now. I know it, and it's gone out my head but now. But either way, do you remember when we beat Manchester United at Old Trafford? It was earlier rounds, I think. And Ryan Giggs rounded us and then blazed it over the bar.
And blazed it over the bar.
Yeah,
with
he blazed it over the bar. And then I'm sure we didn't have Thierry Henry that day. I don't think we had Patrick Vieira. And
we rested a lot of players. Yeah.
I think one of them was injured. We rested a couple.
There was some injuries. There was some injuries.
Yeah, and I don't think Bergkamp played either. But yeah, I remember Giggs rounding us at Old Trafford and then blazing it over. And I'm sure Wiltor got the winner of that game. And I'm feeling it might be, maybe I think it might be 03. Because something said, because we didn't win the FA Cup in 04. We won it in 05, but it might be, like 05 was obviously Manchester United in the final, wasn't it? So obviously weren't then. I think it might have been 03. We might not have even actually won it that year, but it was one of them where, like, in the FA Cup, we might have gone on to win it. But I always sort of remember it couldn't have been 05 because we played them in the final, didn't we? So it couldn't have been 2005.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, sure, we played them in the final.
Yeah,
Gavin. Yeah, no, we're not. We haven't really been cooking anyone. We had to go with Semiu earlier, but we've just been talking about Bergkamp. 30 years since we signed him. We've just been sort of reminiscing, really, just having a chat. So you haven't missed out on any sort of Top Goon or cooking or anything like that. But like Wiltor, man, he always got important goals. He scored the equaliser for France in the Euros final that time as well, in injury time against Italy.
I totally forgot about that. Facts.
Yeah. Injury time, scored from an impossible angle against Buffon, slammed it in, and didn't even celebrate that much. He was just one of those. I get the feeling that he was one of those players that he would sort of give or take football. I don't think he was that big a football fan. You know what I mean? It was just, I'll just go on the pitch and do this and that. But he was underrated because he was if he had joined Villa or something back then, he would have been a superstar for them.
Yeah.
But because he was trying to displace Henry, Bergkamp, Kanu, Perez, Ljungberg. You know, that season when you mentioned 2002, when Ljungberg came in and scored all those goals, Perez was on for it. People were talking about him as Ballon d'Or that season. They were talking about him, and then he snapped his leg and he was in bits. And we thought, who's going to come in? And he just came in flawlessly and added goals. Yeah, and just speaking of Perez, remember his goal to get, I think it was to complete his hat trick against Southampton. Was it something at Derby?
Oh, yeah.
He chipped the keeper from the side footed it over the keeper. And he just walked away.
Jermaine Pennant scored a hat-trick the same game.
Pennant got a hat-trick. Yeah, Pennant. And then, we used to, Jesus, when's the last player to get a hat-trick for us? Is it Nketiah against Sheffield United?
Yeah, I mean,
a couple of years ago?
Like, I can't think of anyone.
Ray Parlour got a hat-trick for us once against Newcastle. Under Wenger, Ray Parlour scored a hat-trick.
Did he? Oh, shit. I didn't know that.
5-0. And he hadn't scored all season.
No, I didn't know that.
He hadn't scored all season. And I remember I think it was his third goal was like the Vieira one against Leicester, where I think it was Perez had the ball and he was standing still like that about 30 yards out, 40 yards out, rolling his foot. And again, Parlour came from nowhere and he waited and scooped it through for him. And it bounced and he volleyed it in to make it. He got a hat-trick. One of them was a header.
I'm really disappointed.
No, against Newcastle. And there were 3 great goals as well. But we used to get hat-tricks from different players. You know, Perez got a hat-trick. Kanu got a hat-trick against Chelsea. You know what I mean? Henry got a shitload of them. But like you look at it now and you go, there's no one here. We don't have a player getting into double figures this year.
Do you remember who was it, Shane? Who was it, Shane? When it was in it's not Standard Liège. It was in the Europa League when we got to the final, I think. And Martin Keown scored 2 late goals. Who was that against? And he nearly got hat trick. Who was that against? It was in the Europa League. I'm sure it was in 99, 2000. And Keown came on late. Martin Keown. And he scored.
I think it was Lons, was it?
Was it Lons? Was it? My head's gone. I can't bloody think. And he scored 2 late goals. And then I think he nearly had.
Remember him in the final though when he slid in at the back post.
That side and blazing it over the bloody bar. Yes, I bloody do remember that final. Yeah.
And that was a precedent because the next year against Liverpool in the FA Cup final we did the same.
Yeah,
we absolutely battered them and couldn't put the ball in the net. Absolutely battered them. That would have been big for us, man. I remember watching that going, we're definitely winning. I went into that so confident. Because we had just taken off, we'd done the double the season before.
Yeah.
I went into that UEFA Cup final thinking, this is guaranteed. I remember sitting with the lads watching in the pub watching the match, arrogant as fuck, strutting around. And then the longer the game went down, I thought, oh no. And it is that thing of when one team gets battered, when it goes to penalties, it's normally that team that wins.
Yeah.
It's normally because they're just go, woo, we got here. I.e. us against United in the 2005 final. You know what I mean? When they absolutely fucking spanked us and then when we won on penalties. Vieira's last kick as a fucking Arsenal player, man.
Top
Views, when
bins,
did you
mate.
lose the Rance accent? Views is gone. He's been gone ages. Are you watching this on playback or something? Are you a bit behind, giving her a see?
Maybe thinks I'm still Views. I've morphed into a white geezer.
Is he giving you shit again in the chat or something? Is he winding
No,
up again?
no, he's all good now. We had
Yeti's
we
all
had a
right,
little
man.
wind
Yeti
up.
knows
Yeah,
what
of course
he's
he
doing.
is, man. Yeah.
Big
We had
up
a
to
little
Daz
chat,
as
yeah.
well.
He's on a wind up, the bastard.
Was it a wind up from the start? Was it?
Yeah. Just
Jesus Christ.
we had a little chinwag earlier. We were on the phone. Yeah, he's doing Yeti stuff, going on the wind up.
Yeah,
you bastard.
Sorted out like men. That's how you do it.
Yeah. Oh,
Exactly.
obviously. Yeah, there wasn't even anything in it in the first place. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That's it.
Exactly.
That's what
Did you see the
offline?
Did you see the Semiu video? Did you? Did you see the Semiu Zippy video? Did you?
Nah, to be fair, yeah.
No, it's only 8 seconds. You know he looks like Zippy from Rainbow.
Oh, have you got it? If you're okay, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, look, I've got another idea. Look, stop whatever you're doing, everybody. Look, because we're going for a walk in the park. Oh, hey.
I thought you meant like a video of him saying something. I've seen that. That's my favourite one of yours.
Sorry.
That is. This bloody hilarious. That is. Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
It somehow managed to
That's the
sync
best
up.
one
I
you've
don't know
got.
how it managed to sync up. Yeah, that's up there, man. That's definitely up there.
Yeah,
But yeah, man, you know, it is good to reminisce sometimes. And sometimes I do find myself now this summer. I've been doing it a lot, watching all the football, watching Arsenal back in the day, watching all World Cups and stuff. And I've realised that I often do it when I'm losing a bit of hope with the club. It is hot, isn't it? When I'm losing hope with the club, this is. You are.
I've been
I go
for the
through
last few
stages
days,
of that.
mate. This where I've got this is it's like there's no ventilation in here whatsoever, mate. Like the last few days I've been streaming, it's just been like dripping down, fucking all here, like just. I don't know. I don't know how you can't see it, probably because my laptop camera is shit. But I'm a like sweaty mess, man. It's just been ridiculous in here. They're like I've got windows open, fans on, and it's
I've
still
got windows
like
open and the curtains aren't
freezing
even moving. It's just dead heat. There's
Mate.
nothing worse than dead heat.
Yeah,
Horrible.
yeah.
Hadji was on fire in that final. He was and that was old Hadji. One of my favorite
Yeah.
Hadji moments after that. Me and my mates, we still talk about it. And it never good. Obviously, I don't think it was sort of a known thing, but there was a part in it where he spread a ball across the pitch, right? But he put it about 20 yards away from the player he's aiming for. He mishit it, right? And it went out of play. Your man chased it down and tried to keep it in. But when your man tried to keep it in, he slid trying to keep it in. It was a terrible pass. And you see your man getting up and looking across at Hadji, and Hadji goes like that. Like your man says, "Oh, sorry." It was Hadji's fault, like, but he's still the other players just like, I can't fucking say anything.
But that's the respect, though, isn't it? You're just like, oh, it's Hadji. If it had been anyone else, they'd have gone, you.
Yeah. What kind of a pass was that? And Hadji even said to him, like, "What the fuck?" And your man's like, "Oh, sorry," and it was completely his fault. But he was a fucking player, man. That guy. He was a player. You don't see the likes of him anymore.
Yeah,
I remember Barcelona had him, Romario, and Stoichkov in the same team. That Johan Cruyff team that smashed United 4-0. Back when it was back when you could only have 3 foreigners in the Champions League, and United had Cantona, Kanchelskis, Schmeichel, and someone else. But Ferguson chose to drop Schmeichel and keep the other 3, and they lost 4-0. They got absolutely spanked.
Sometimes even the
Romario
best get it
absolutely ripped. Yeah, even the best get it wrong. But Ferguson's come out since and said he doesn't. Even if Schmeichel had been in, it wouldn't have made a difference. It wouldn't have made a difference because that Barcelona team were different class, man. Different class. My moves are sweating. Come on, Yeti. It is getting on. Listen, I'll look at wrapping it up. I think Lee is live. I'm getting used to this now. Let me just open up the studio. I'll send you over. Make sure you give him a forehead raid.
Orville the duck raid.
Yeah. I love it. I think he has I don't know if he has anyone on with him. I think he has or has he even started? I presume he has started because there was a drop of about 20 or 30 people at one point.
I see someone put on the thing that he had like a 25-30 minute bloody intro or something like that. Like, I don't know whether that was just like like a wind up, or he actually. You never know with Lee because that could be very feasible for him, isn't it? But
Well, he's taking a piss at the moment anyway, because I can see his screen. It's just an empty chair. So he's taking a piss.
Only he would have like probably 1,000 viewers of watching the chair.
Waiting on him to take a fucking piss. I don't know, I could this morning now. I fucking the viewers went up to 97 for a point. I was like, hit the 100. I've never hit 100 on my own. And it just came right close to it. Hopefully I'll get it soon. I'm sure I will, because it's a world-class chat are always in. But listen, people, listen, Aaron, man, thanks for coming on. But thanks to the chat for being here for the whole time. Absolute legends. I know when other people are live, you know, you can go off, but some of you are just absolute legends. You stay there the whole time. I will, of course, be back tomorrow morning for the full Irish at 10:30.
What time is
Aaron,
it?
what do you have coming up, my man?
I've got
10:30.
Yeah, come on, man. I've got call in later, 8 o'clock.
Oh yeah, you moved it. Sorry, I forgot about that.
Yeah. I've got a call in later. Like, I've had a lot going on the last couple of days, so I'm definitely gonna 100% commit to it. I've been in, there's a lot of shit, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah, lots of 25 minutes, but that should be going ahead at 8 o'clock, and yeah, man, if anyone wants to turn up, say hello, they're more than welcome. But big up, thank you very much for having me on. It's nice to talk Arsenal football that isn't Arsenal football. Arsenal. 19 to 25, you know.
Yeah. And if any of the fucking mutants want to come in and clip up how negative we are, just clip us up talking about Arsenal when they were good. You didn't hear any negatives there. Clip us up and talk about Arsenal when they were good. I nearly started crying talking to views the other day about that Tony Adams goal against Everton. We were on stream and I was talking, and my voice actually wavered for a second when I talked about it. You know what I mean? But big up to everybody. Get over to Lee. Give Machine Gun a raid. I'm going to go have a cold shower, man. I am sweating through my clothes. And see you all tomorrow.
But we're not going to be in the same shower.
No. That was last week.
Unless you want it.
See you.